Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about the toll doing your wifely duties, like pickleball and riding jet skis, can take on a woman.
And how one's anxiety is always heightened by a self loathing Eagle Scout.
If you've missed our earlier coverage of Married at First Sight season 20 or our previous coverage of Love Island USA, just scroll back in the feed. We've had a very busy summer. Also, Rich Text is now on Patreon, and our latest episodes include recaps of The Ultimatum and also a chat about House of Stassi, The Valley, and In the City with Gibson Johns. So you can find all of that on patreon.com/richtext. And now it's time for episodes 10 to 12 of Married at First Sight.
It just keeps going. The drama keeps coming.
I'm getting really into this show. I feel like there are things that we're seeing about the contestants, the cast, that shows like The Bachelor or Love Island or even Love is Blind just don't quite show.
Yes, because we're getting a little extra time with them. It's kind of
Yeah.
like it's like Love Island style where it's not like every single day, but I feel like you actually get to know them more than you would in a Love is Blind because there are a few more episodes per season and you're
Yeah.
spending like, therapy sessions with them and getting to see like their vulnerabilities and
Yeah.
what they care about and how they're matched. So I agree. Like I'm definitely more into it than I was expecting.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the extra time is a big part of it, and also, honestly, the fact that they don't get to choose their own partners, I think leads to almost a level of honesty about what's not working for them in the relationship that maybe people would not have if they felt they got to pick their partner themselves. Like,
Mhm.
they're kind of just like, why did I get matched with this person? Like, here are all of my little quirks that they're not accommodating. So let's dive into episode 10. Marissa and Adam kick us off. They're hanging out on the couch while he eats a big plate of slop. He does seem like the kind of guy who eats a big plate of slop
Yeah.
because his focus has to be on getting to pickleball.
Yes, and, like, whatever's in the fridge, just everything in the kitchen sink, as long as there's some protein in there so he could play for
Yes.
25 hours straight, you know?
Protein, a basic carb, and a vegetable. She's trying to facilitate deeper conversations because this was Paul's suggestion for them. She has a sheet of questions and she asks him what is an assumption people make about him that is wrong. And he says they assume that he's surface level and only likes his jet ski, but he can actually get deep. And then
I
he immediately disproves this by asking her what she likes in bed.
I mean, I thought of us when he said this. I was like, "You are right. We do just think you like to
Yeah.
rip it on the jet ski, and that's about all you've given us, with a touch of piano on the side."
Right, exactly. And I'm like, who else thinks that? Your wife, your therapist. Like, people
Everyone
who
around you.
I think that's kind of on you. It's not an assumption, it's what you're putting out into the world. And I think it's interesting that he and Nick get kind of the same critique, which is like, you can't get deep. And then their response for both of them is like, I totally can. And actually what's really deep about me is that people don't realize how deep I am.
Yeah.
What's my hidden secret? That people don't realize that I have hidden secrets. Well, what are they?
They're deep, Claire. They're
They're t
deep, deep secrets.
they're too deep for that. They're things I can't, like, legally reveal on a TV show, I have to assume. They share some other deep things. They both grew up being insecure about being too skinny, but thankfully now he rips it in the gym.
Hmm.
He shares that the craziest place he's ever hooked up was his jet ski.
This threw me. I was just like, "See how deep you can get? Is that the jet ski just is a full circle around your whole existence." The jet ski is
Yeah.
just doing loops around Adam at this point.
Yeah, he eats, breathes, and sleeps, and apparently has sex with jet ski. Like, he's like, "My girlfriend pressured me," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Adam,
sure.
come on." Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the same girlfriend that he's kind of I don't wanna say comparing Marissa to, but he's bringing her up a
Yeah.
lot. I don't know if there's some emotion left there, but this
I
girlfriend seemed to be into whatever he was into.
Based on the things he has let us know, my guess was that he had this girlfriend who was basically perfect in every way. She, like, fetishized the jet ski like him. She loved going and playing pickleball for 3 hours a day, but then she cheated on him
Yeah.
because he has mentioned that being an issue repeatedly in his
Mhm.
relationships. Who knows? That was just my, like, easy assumption, and you know what Adam says about assumptions. There's so much more to me than the jet ski, Claire.
There's so many deep assumptions made about him.
Nikki and Shawn have a little camping-themed picnic by the water, which I had to laugh because this was more produced than many bachelor dates these
Yeah,
days.
I was like, "Did you guys plan this, or did the producers really get in there and set up this little glamping site for you?"
Right, it's like a doll-sized glamping site. There's a huge floral arch for some reason, and then a tiny teepee that's too small for them to go inside from, I assume, the kids section.
Yeah, I was like, "My kids would have liked this setup."
Yeah, it's
But
a
I don't
play
know if
tent.
Shawn did it himself, like, they had the plush blankets.
Yeah, blankets, charcuterie and cheese board, and they're really upping the romance. He's being solicitous, bringing her the blanket, and she says, "You're really helping me open up to intimacy. What could help on my end?" And he says, "Well, sometimes I feel like you're in your head instead of leaning into your feelings, and that can make it hard to go there." And she's like, "Yeah, I might need to explore things that feel uncomfortable to unblock that side of things."
Like touching you.
Yeah. Like you walking out in a towel and being like, "I would like to do mutual masturbation right now."
He is always in a robe just, yeah, asking for some sort of
Yeah. He likes
sexual
to
situation,
he
even
has,
though he
like
claims that's not at all what he's doing, but
well, when he hears no, he claims that's not what he's
mm.
doing. But when it seems like it might be an option, he's like, "Oh, I'm hearing she's ready to get uncomfortable. So if she says yes, I wanna be as easy access as possible if I get the
So I
yes."
could just untie that robe and
Yeah. So Tori meets up with some friends solo and tells them how well things are going with Felipe, but at the same time, she's concerned because Felipe is an atheist. And her friends are alarmed. They're like, "You used to filter out atheists in the apps. You're super Christian. That's a big part of your identity."
yeah.
And Tori says, "Well, I've realized that religion is personal and it's actually anti religion to dictate that." And I agree in the sense of like the Crusades, right? Like, I agree that you shouldn't force people at sword point to take on your religion. That's anti religion. It's not really about faith. But in a marriage, I think it is actually reasonable to want to be in a shared faith relationship if it's
Yes.
really important to you.
Or at least, be on the same page. I mean, he doesn't believe in anything, and she clearly has a history of faith and going to church, and, like, her friends were very surprised by this. So I don't know if she's taking this, seriously enough, to be honest. Because if you're not on the same page there, that could lead to trouble down the line.
Yeah, like, raising your kids in a faith is a joint project, Like, there are ways around it. I'm in an interfaith marriage, essentially, but it's not always a straightforward thing. She also brings up his fear of messing things up by cheating, and she reveals more, but this cheating story is coming out in dribs and
Mm,
drabs.
mhm.
He made out with his high school crush while he was with his ex, who he dated for 6 years. And I guess he stayed with her for years after that and never told her the truth. And she's like, "I'm worried that he will get bored and do the same thing with me." And her guy friend basically says, "Well, you're too great and interesting to cheat on, so he won't do that to you."
Hmm. Well, if he did it to his girlfriend of many,
Yeah.
many years, and we know what we're seeing from Felipe is,
Yeah.
he gets bored easily and he
He's
likes
already bored.
yeah, he likes to be, with multiple women at one time. He doesn't really like monogamy. So I don't have too much faith in this friend of
Yeah.
Tori's
The
judgment.
I think he's just trying to make her feel better, but don't don't lie to her,
Yeah.
like, that's not what this is about. If he's someone who is drawn to cheating, your assumption is that Tori is just so much better and cooler than his ex that he would never do that to her.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I
how it
mean,
works.
he's openly talking about it at therapy
Yeah,
sessions with many of his,
I know, and
co-stars around. So
the way he talks
I
about it,
think he's very worried he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and the way he talks about it, I'm surprised he's only cheated once, and maybe it's just because he was in this 6-year relationship, and mostly he's just been a bachelor enjoying the
Mhm.
single life, and he hasn't had the opportunity to cheat on more people. Because he makes it almost sound like his brain is always trying to find loopholes where he gets to have sex with someone else again. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, "My brain is." It's like, the Hugging Face, hacker scandal recently where, like, an open AI algo went rogue and broke itself out and hacked into Hugging Face, this other site. It's like his brain is always scanning for a way, like, in the
Yeah.
background that it can exploit a vulnerability and break out and cheat on Tori.
Always.
That's
And he misses that his 4 a.m. nights out just scanning
yeah,
the nightclubs for who he can take home.
I
He's
don't see
going
how
through
she can.
withdrawal. He
He
really
is.
is.
He's, like, shaking. I don't see a way that she can move forward with him, honestly. Um, Her other friend tries to put a damper on things. She's really not impressed by all the cheating and the lying about it for years afterwards. But Tori seems to have clearly, like, made peace with the idea that he felt really bad and he doesn't wanna do that to her.
Mhm.
It's Courtney's birthday, and Nick celebrates by surprising her with a cake and flowers, and she acts excited and does a little photo shoot with the cake. She takes a candle out and licks it and then sticks it back in the cake, which I found really gross.
Mhm.
But she tells the camera that this isn't helping them get deeper. She's like, "Oh gosh, I guess it's nice that he got me this stuff and I appreciate it, but like our relationship isn't going to get deeper just because you got me a cake." It's like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
oh my
Courtney.
god. She really is just she gets me.
Yeah.
She gets me deep in the soul. In the wrong
She's
ways, she gets me.
in the
That's
wrong, yeah, she gets to you. I mean, it's I support women's rights and wrongs normally, and I might be one of Caitlin's only defenders in the world, but the way that she takes every opportunity to be, like, angry at him for not getting deeper in that particular moment when he's doing a nice gesture for her birthday, like, is so hostile. Like, how is that cultivating a space where he's gonna feel comfortable being emotionally vulnerable if you're shit talking him because he got you a birthday cake
'Cause he
instead
thought of
of.
you on your birthday. He could have given you nothing. That's like, he
She's
could
like,
have
"I
not even
wish."
known your birthday.
She's like, "I wish that instead he had greeted me on my birthday with a very detailed, fleshed out account of his deepest trauma."
Mhm, with a blow pop on the side.
Yeah, she does love a blow pop. She's like, any man who maybe that's why she licked the candle and put it she was looking for something.
Like sensory stimulation or something like that.
Exactly. Um, she's still annoyed at him about what happened at group therapy, that his secret was that he just wanted to be goofier. And I will say that was a really dumb secret, but in Nick's defense, they made him say something right away, and he said it wasn't gonna be a good enough secret, and they
Yeah,
made
he's
him
not
say
like
it.
Adam. He doesn't have deep, deep secrets.
Yeah, I don't think my current working theory on Nick is that he has no hidden depths. It's just
Yeah.
all what we see.
Mhm.
The next group gathering is her birthday party, which is mafia themed, I guess.
I was very unsure what
There
was
were a
happening.
there were a lot of newsboy caps. I didn't realize that that was an important piece of mafia wear.
Yeah.
But the women are all bringing the sort of mafia wife look,
Mhm.
the furs and so on. And Felipe's Italian restaurant is hosting. And I was like, "Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Felipe is getting what he wants out of this arrangement now."
Yeah, and he's like, first" what did he say, "all drinks"? I can't remember what he
No,
said, but
wine and appetizers are on
on
the
me,
house.
yeah.
Yeah, just wine and appetizers.
And the
And
best espresso martinis in Seattle.
right, he's like, "The wine is free. The espresso martinis, you have to have those."
Yeah, $16 each.
Way to upsell, buddy.
Everybody got pretty lit though, so
Yeah.
I guess those teenies were working.
What, and an espresso martini is great for TV because everyone gets drunk and very energetic.
Mhm, exactly, and they could
They're
just film all night.
they're ready to fight. Courtney immediately puts Michelle and Caitlin on either side of her chair. And everyone's like, "Are you sure? What about your brand new husband who might wanna sit next to you?" And she's like, "Nick will understand."
Mm.
Nick does not
No, he does
understand.
not understand. Neither would I. That was so rude.
Right, he's like, I would like to sit next to my wife, but if you really don't want to, I guess that's fine." She's like, "Oh, I see. Like, okay, you're mad. Michelle, can you move, please?" I'm like, "Courtney, you created this situation
Yeah.
by spending the first act of your birthday was to slight Nick.
Mhm. And
Everyone
then
else is
she
sitting with their
slighted him for the
partner."
rest of the night because she's, constantly sitting, like, away from him, like, as if
Yes.
I'm talking to the podcast mic, but this way.
You know? She just, like, doesn't like him at all. It's wild. And I think it always feels like she's scanning the group for guys that she wishes they had paired her with.
Mhm.
Because the first get together, it was Felipe, and now she seems to be paying more special attention to Adam, but we'll
Yes.
we'll get to that. Um, Devin, during dinner, tries to sort of buttonhole Courtney and tell her to go easier on Nick. He's like, "You need to meet him halfway. It's a two-way street." And she says, "Well, he's the one who's not fulfilling his side of the two-way street because he's not being vulnerable." And she's like, "Look, in a normal situation, we would both probably just leave. But here we are. I feel like he's not doing what he needs to do." And Devin says, "Well, it's hard for men to be vulnerable. You're creating an unrealistic expectation." And also, he's like, "There needs to be a physical
Yeah.
connection."
Fuck vulnerability. Let's get down and dirty. Come on, just make out with them and everything will be better. Like, they're taking notes from Shawn's book here.
Yeah. And Shawn quite literally does have a book, and I hope that's not the advice in the book. He is Can you imagine publishing a book of relationship advice while people are in
Mm.
the midst of watching you
Mhm. Yeah, when we saw
behave
that, we were
so
like
appallingly? He's like,
yeah.
"I'm in my late 40s, and I don't know how to even behave in a respectful way for a 2-month trial marriage. I can see you all need my advice on
Yes.
relationships."
Let's see if him and Nikki, like, make it out of this, and that's why his book is being published. Because otherwise, whoever the publisher is, not the best idea on your behalf.
If they're still married, that would be completely
I
deranged to
mean, they're
me,
out of
but
10 now, Claire. They're
they're
out
at
of
a 10
10.
now. You're right. They just stay right at a 10 all the way through the misery of this episode. Um, Meanwhile, while Devin is going at Courtney, she's, like, glazing over. She starts texting while he's talking. He's like, "Pay attention to me. Stop texting." She's like, "Look, I don't need this on my birthday. I just don't wanna do this right now." And when he keeps kind of pressing, she goes off on him. She's like, "I deserve to be loved for who I am. I deserve better than this, blah, 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 blah." And then she starts calling over to Caitlin to control her man.
Ugh. Yeah.
This was a tough one because, like, I don't know, I felt like Devin was kinda out of order, but Courtney is just so unpleasant.
Yeah. He was, but he was also, like, again, drinking, and he was probably like, "Your back is to my friend. What's going
Yeah,
on?" And then it kinda escalated because Courtney tends to escalate situations, and the whole, like, if she pulled out her phone when I was having a conversation with her, that would also annoy me too, because as we know, Devin's very big on, like, eye contact in general, but it was
yeah,
kind of rude for her to just kind of skirt the topic when he's, like, trying to talk to her just about, like, "Are you into Nick? If you're not, maybe this isn't working out," and she's just like, "It's my birthday. Leave me alone. Caitlin,
yeah.
control him."
Well, that's any version of control your partner, like, get them in line, I find really disgusting.
Mm.
People don't own their partners, like, it's very dehumanizing to be like, "Get your man in line, get your woman in line." Um, I just kind of didn't understand why Devin was broaching this with her at all, and if she wants to check out of the conversation and be like, "I don't wanna talk about this," that's her right. Like, I don't know why he feels entitled to force her to have this conversation, but I guess to me, it felt like he was projecting his situation with Caitlyn onto Courtney and Nick.
Mm. He
Not that
was
there's
using similar, like I mentioned, the eye contact. That's all stuff he's talked to Caitlin about too.
yeah.
He was kinda projecting, for sure.
It's not that the situations aren't similar, but it's more like he can't solve the situation with Caitlyn, and so instead he wants to go to some relationship he's not in
And
and
be like,
solve the
"Let's see
same
if
problem there.
let's see if my tactics work on someone else."
Right. It's like, no, just like they don't work on Caitlyn, they're not gonna work on Courtney, and she doesn't even understand why it's your business how physical she's being with Nick or whether she's allowed to expect vulnerability from him
Yeah.
even though he's a man.
I feel like these group sessions that they're on, like, make them feel like they're entitled to sort of be a part of everybody's couple, and
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they're a little too intertwined with each other's personal lives, but again, that's kinda like the basis of the show is what I'm seeing is,
Yeah.
like, they're supposed to all be helping each other on the journey, where a lot of other shows like this, they're kind of, like, off on their own unless they come together for, like, a mixer or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just don't think that Devin is gonna be someone who's going to help Courtney show up better in
Yeah,
her
no.
marriage. I think it would need to be one of the other women, and that's not the situation here. Caitlin returns to her seat. She wasn't there for any of this, and things are very tense. She doesn't really want to litigate it, especially because she wasn't there. So she's playing Switzerland. She's just like, "Oh, what happened? I wasn't even here. I don't want to say who's right or wrong." Courtney ends up saying that Devin is just a boy's boy, and everyone agrees. And she's like, "Well, that's fair enough. Like, for him to be a boy's boy, that's great." Doesn't have quite the same ring as girl's girl, though.
No.
No.
Doesn't.
And Devin is mad because he clearly expected Caitlyn to stand up for him. He's like, "We're married. You should stand by your partner."
It's his wifely duty, you know?
So,
So
yeah.
many of those wifely duties brought up this episode.
And she's like, "Well, I don't know what happened, so I'm not just gonna blindly take your side. I just met you." I think that's actually kind of fair. Like, even though they're married, the trust where she can say, I know you well enough to believe that you deserve my support, that
Mm.
your behavior merited my support, like, that hasn't developed yet.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And why should she take anybody's side? She wasn't there. Like, she didn't see what happened. Just because you're married doesn't mean that she's automatically gonna be on your side. I think
Yeah.
he's a little oblivious when it comes to that aspect of their relationship. Most of the men are. They're like they just expect the women to be, "Well, you're my wife now, so I'm number
Yeah.
1 in your eyes."
Well, and I think that personally, my attitude, and, like, my husband is so lucky, is, like, I think that for a lot of men, they have not had to consider that deeply the experiences and worldview of women because they have the privilege of often being in like the power position, the dominant position. Their point of view is always considered and centered and given priority. And so I think it's part of my role as a wife and previously as a girlfriend to sort of advocate for other women to my
Mhm.
partner and to be like, well, consider her point of view. Are you sure you didn't think about this or this or this that maybe it wouldn't come naturally to you to think of? That's part of me being a girl's girl, but also helping my male partner like understand other people better and show up better. And that doesn't mean that you never support your partner or that you, like, turn on him and you're like, "What did you do?" But,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
blind support, I don't think always benefits men because they kind of sometimes need to be pushed to
Yes.
be a little bit more mindful of women's experiences. But at the same time, Devin wants to be heard, and Caitlin starts to kind of brush him off. She's like, "I just kinda don't wanna hear it anymore." And he's like, "I just want you to hear me out." And she's like, "No, I don't feel like it."
Yeah. I'm done. I'm over it. I think we see more though as we go into later that night that maybe he was a little drunker than we assumed and that there was, you know, other stuff happening that
Yeah.
was kind of triggering to her.
Yeah, and we see a little bit of this, like, back at their place. They're still arguing. She's kind of, like, putting clothes away in the bedroom or something, and he's in the doorway, leaning on the door. He's clearly quite inebriated
Mhm.
and seems like a little bit sloppy. And what frustrated me is that the conversation is chopped up so much in the edit that it's really hard to follow. Like, I couldn't possibly litigate for you who was in the right in this conversation because we see such, like, choppy little clips of it. But he's trying to defend how he was talking to Courtney, and Caitlin just doesn't wanna talk. She's like, "You're super drunk, you're cross-eyed, you're leaning on the door. I feel uncomfortable. I wanna talk in the morning." And he really wants to get his point across and be heard. And then when he decides to kind of let it go or move on from things, his method is to start being like, "I see you, I hear you, I understand you, let's hug." And she's like, "What?"
No. She's like, "Get away from me." Also, he's been saying this mantra a lot, which I feel like he's, gleaned from the therapists. Uh, but
Right.
instead of, like, escalating a situation, he tends to just be like, "I see you. I hear you. I understand what you're saying to me. And are you calm now so that we can continue on with our conversation?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"What the don't come near me," too, when he tries to give her a hug, which I
Yeah.
listen, I am with Caitlin in this situation because you can't really reason with someone who is not reasoning with themselves.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the situation now where she doesn't want to resolve the situation while he is drunk, and he's just kind of, like, looming in the doorway, seeming a little bit out of control of his
Mhm,
behavior because of how drunk he is, and that I can see why that would make you quite uncomfortable. She still has only known him for a couple of weeks. I don't think that any of that was malicious on his end, but it's not nurturing this sort of, like, calm, receptive environment.
mhm,
And then like, "I see you, I hear you, I understand you" thing, it just feels like such he thinks it's a cheat code
mm,
to be like, "Well, now that I say this, she's gonna feel heard and understood, and she's not gonna be upset anymore." But I would just feel
yeah.
like I was being managed, to be
Yes.
honest.
Yeah, that would piss me off if somebody kept telling me that to me.
Right. It reminded me of how Bea on Love Island was telling Zach, I think, early in the season, "Oh, just say, like, I your feelings are valid, like, girls eat that shit up."
Mhm.
It's almost dismissive in how you're expected to feel seen and heard just by someone saying, "Well, I do
Like,
see and hear
I
you."
validate you, and then, yeah,
Right.
the next day, just forgetting all the things you
Yeah.
validated.
Right. I think he's trying. It's just like it's a bit, like, ham-fisted here. They just need to go to bed,
I
and
blame Felipe. Listen.
Felipe is always to blame. Felipe! She finally tells Devin that if he wants her to trust him to lead her life, it's clearly not going to happen.
Mm.
It's so funny to see a couple like this suddenly bring up the man leading the woman framework. I'm like, Caitlin is on the go, and
Yeah.
Devin is just like waiting for rugby season to start. How is he leading anything? Like,
I'm
he
like,
wakes
"And you
up and
don't
he's like,
want
where is
that."
she? And
She doesn't
yeah,
want that, so I'm like, "Where are you, like, getting this from? This is not even what you want. You're, like, an independent and confident woman. You just want a partner who's there for you when you want him to be there for you." But she definitely doesn't want the man to be, like, the head of the household leading her
right.
on the journey of life together, you know? So that yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. I suspect part of what's happening is that she told the matchmakers about a kind of guy that she thought she wanted, but she actually wants other things
She
that she hasn't
she wants to
accepted.
be single.
She wants to be single, or she wants a much more, like, hands-off relationship and not one where he's, like, leading her. I don't know. They revisit it in the car the next day, and he's like, "I'm super hungover, and I'm sorry for how I handled last night." And Caitlin is like, "Okay, well, I have dealt with partners having substance abuse problems in the past, and that was really triggering for me.
Mhm.
But as long as it's not a pattern, that's okay. I don't wanna, like, hold that over you. I do wanna feel confident letting you take the lead, and I can't feel that if you are behaving that way." And he says, "No, no, I can regulate myself. I would never intentionally make you feel unsafe, unheard, or disrespected. I'm gonna fix it." And she's like, "Then we're good."
Mhm.
Do you think that she should have apologized too for not, like, standing up for him or
I
listening to him more?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Mm,
I feel like I mean, there could have been a bit of a better, like, communication with them at the dinner where she was like, "Listen, I wasn't here. I don't know what Courtney and you were talking about. I support you. I'm sure you were just trying to help her and her relationship." But I don't think it's her job to have to stand up for him when like she said, she doesn't really know him yet. Like,
yeah.
and they've had so many issues in their relationship already that I feel like she's kind of feeling weak in this partnership. So, I don't know, it's a mixture with them, like, it would have been weird, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if anything, she could have apologized for not being more receptive to talking it out with him, but I can also see how hard that might have been given how drunk he
Drunk he
was.
was, yeah, that's a whole other layer too, like, do you really
Yeah.
wanna be, like, talking talking this all out with someone who's clearly very drunk? Probably
Yeah.
not, just wait till the next morning, which they seem to always figure it out. I do think they have better communication than they think, but
Yeah.
I think there's just, like, a lack of personality meshing, like, they're just
Yeah.
very different people.
Yeah, and there's the communication takes some interesting turns later in this batch. But before we get to all that, let's take a quick break. When we get back, the rest of episode 10. And we're back. So it's time for some counseling. Mecca and Belle head to their session with Paul, and Mecca tells Paul that he felt attacked at group therapy and that his vulnerability was thrown in his face. And Paul is like, attacked by me? And Mecca's like, "Yes." And Courtney and Michelle, everyone was coming at me. And he says, "I hold you in such high regard, and also Michelle. And so it hurt to have you question my authenticity."
No. I mean, we talked about that, like, I
Yeah.
felt like he was unnecessarily attacked as well. Like,
Yeah.
there were moments where, sure, it looks performative, whatever he's doing, but I thought it was, like, a little strange how everyone came after Mecca.
Yeah. I think that his little riff at the dinner table really threw
Mm.
people, and it threw me too. Um, but maybe authenticity was not the right frame. I also always laugh at how he leaves Courtney out of this. He's like, "Paul, I respect you and Michelle. I have no comment on Courtney." My feelings about her comments. He talks about how he realizes that he needs to break down more barriers because he's maybe been pushing away the possibility of love. He's like, "I think I could love Belle eventually, but it's scary." And so Paul's like, "Let's dig deeper. Like, let's talk about your mom and her absence." And Mecca says that when he was growing up, he saw the relationships his friends had with their bio moms, and he would start to feel jealous of them. And then ultimately, he started to feel unworthy. Like there was some reason that he didn't get to have that relationship. Paul says that he thinks Mecca is a self sabotager. He's like, "Belle, I think you love Mecca. I think you actually are in love with him and you will support him in any way. And you just won't admit it, but you should admit it."
How did you feel about this? I was a
I
little
did
like,
not like
"Are
this.
you telling her she loves him?" Like,
I would say Paul, for better and for worse, will get in there and just like make a big statement. He'll like throw a bomb in there. And sometimes it's like, "Adam, you're being unserious with all of us and you're deflecting with your dumb outfits." And sometimes it's, "Belle, you're actually in love with Mecca." I'm
yeah.
like, no, I think we should let Belle decide whether she's in love with him and whether she wants to say that. Like, why is
Yeah.
it your place to put her in that position? Because I think that almost gives Mecca leverage over her.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He was kind of, like, giving Mecca, like, the upper hand here, being like, "Look, she does love you, man, so, like, don't sabotage yourself." But then it's also like you're putting words in her mouth and feelings,
Right.
like, frankly.
Yeah. Right. And then the expectation that like she's going to be that steady rock. Like, what about her needs to feel like she can really let go and be in love?
Yeah.
maybe she's not there yet, but the narrative has now been created that she's already there, and so now everything revolves around Mecca's emotional safety and whether he feels
Exactly, and
ready.
the pressure of that too, to be like, "Wait, am I in love? Like, should I be telling him I feel this way? Do I feel this way?" Like, the confusion is just
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't like that, Paul.
I didn't like that, Paul.
Paul.
So we next see them like on a little date. They're already trying to keep things fresh with some role play, which made me laugh.
Yeah.
They go to a basketball court and they booked some court time and they pretend they're strangers who accidentally booked the same court and they're like introducing themselves
It's
to
like
each
love
other.
and basketball. I love
Yeah, yeah,
like a
yeah.
rom-com.
They play horse and the prize is a kiss. Um, and he wins by dunking, which I'm sorry, I think is cheating
I
when you're
know,
playing
you
someone
know
who
she
can't.
can't do that, but then I saw her dance moves, and I was like, she should have, like, broke out a little moonwalk or whatever she was doing, and then
Yeah, could he do that?
can
Like, put
he
him
do
on the
that?
spot. And after this date, she tells the camera that she's not in love,
Yeah.
but she
Take
could see it.
take that, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul.
She's not your puppet, okay, Paul? Nick and Courtney head to couples therapy too with Dr. Lisa. And beforehand, Nick tells the camera that he feels like he's genuine. He tries to be nice. And his parents have been married for over 30 years. When will Courtney see that and just like accept him?
If his parents were married for this long, he's gotta be a good husband, you know?
He's like, I've got it all genuine, nice, married parents. So why isn't she all over this? Every time he talks about this, I just more and more feel like, okay, this really is all that's there. He's just a guy who goes around in his head being like, I'm nice, I'm genuine.
Yeah.
My parents have been married for 30 years. Who wouldn't want this? At therapy, Courtney immediately gets upset about how hurt she was that she got really vulnerable at group therapy while he just shared that he wants to be goofy. I think this is actually a problem in a lot of heterosexual relationships where women have struggled, like, growing up under the patriarchy and, like, having difficult relationships with men and, like, the different expectations that are placed on them, and men are just like, "Yeah, I just wish I were playing Madden all the time, you know? That's really tough." It's like, have you ever had a problem? Like, how
Oh.
can we relate when you've never had a problem?
Yeah, I was vulnerable when my video game, like, broke, and I had to,
Yeah.
like, do you remember when, we used to, like, blow the bottom of a Nintendo game to get it to
Yes.
work? That's
Yeah.
that's that's vulnerability when a man is
Exactly.
freaking out over that, but everything else is just
Exactly.
cake.
He's like, "I'm just like a tall, handsome white man who went to MIT, and I don't understand why my video games are not always available." Like, of course, there's a disconnect. And Dr. Lisa suggests that Nick just wants more physical closeness while Courtney wants more emotional closeness. And Nick pushes back and is like, no, I actually also want more emotional closeness. We don't really talk. And even at her birthday, she didn't save a seat for me. She didn't want to sit next to me. And Courtney is very defensive about how he didn't
Mm.
ask to sit next to her. But of course, he did. Was he supposed to ask at the apartment beforehand?
No, because she's never in the wrong, Courtney. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't ask. You didn't ask me if you wanted to sit next to me. How am I supposed
Yeah.
to know? Well, you are like coming as a couple to your birthday party. One would assume you'd want to sit next to your significant other.
Like, you guys just got married. It's not she's like, "Oh, my mom didn't sit next to my dad at her birthday dinner." And I was like, "Well, yeah, they've been married for, like, decades. They spend all the time together for many, many years. This is a little different. You're a brand new couple. Like, you should be trying to spend time together all the time."
They've spent 30 years together. They need that
Yeah.
separation. You're like in your honeymoon stage. You should want to sit next to Nick.
Yeah. This is Courtney in the honeymoon stage. She visibly cringes whenever
Think
he's
about
around.
35 years of marriage. That would
Oh
yeah.
god. Yeah, I simply can't imagine them being married for 30 years. Finally, she does concede that she hasn't created a space for him to express his needs. Although, again, he did express them and he did ask to sit next to her. I think it's interesting that Nick and Courtney, the experts, have kind of split them into, well, Nick wants more physical closeness because he's a man, and Courtney wants more emotional closeness because she's a woman. Like, that's very easy for them to understand. But I haven't really seen any signs that Courtney actually wants more emotional closeness.
Yeah. I don't think she wants closeness with anyone, to be honest. She's just
Maybe
always on the
Adam.
defense, like, even
Yeah.
with Adam. I don't know, I
Hmm.
just can't see her not finding issues, with all the guys or, like, anyone she
Yeah.
dates, and I feel like that she just maybe has these higher expectations for herself, but then she also needs to realize that she needs to come down a bit with that and maybe meet Nick at a certain level because they're just so different. The way they, like,
Yeah.
express their emotions and what their needs. I don't know.
The expert's line on them was that Courtney was going to like push Nick to be more raw and open because she's so raw and open. But there's a difference between being willing to share difficult things that have happened to you and actually being open. And I can say that because I'm like this. Like, I think it's much easier for me to share difficult things that have happened to me than to actually be soft and vulnerable with someone close to me.
Mm.
And it's almost like she uses it defensively and aggressively. Like, she'll be like, "Well, I have these terrible relationships, and that's me. So, like, what about you? Like, what are
Yeah.
you gonna share with me?" Like, it's more like a weapon that she's like, "Well,
Yes.
here's my vulnerability."
But do you really, like, know anything about that's the thing, like,
Right.
is she being raw and open? Because I don't think I know much about her except for the fact that she had some bad relationships, but I don't know any details of that. Like, she only
Yeah.
shares as much as she wants, but then expects Nick to, like, share every little morsel of his,
Yeah.
of his life. So, I don't know, I feel like they have a lot to to work on if they wanna make this
Lots.
marriage work. I don't see it
Yeah.
I don't see it really panning out for them, but I think
Yeah.
they're hopefully both learning things about each other and themselves that will help them in the future, but I don't see this being like a forever thing.
Yeah. Certainly not. I do hope that Courtney could learn something from this, but she doesn't seem to at this point. Like, her perspective is that she needs to try to do more sort of rote things like a kiss or a hug. But is she really learning about how to actually be soft with the person that she's close with instead of constantly badgering them with like, well,
Mhm.
what have you done today to meet my expectations?
Mhm.
Like, here's how you're falling short compared to what I'm doing. Um, and Dr. Lisa does say at this point that Courtney is very guarded. And Courtney asks what Nick needs to do for her to be more open. And he's like, well, the other day when you got a mirror and did your makeup on the balcony with me, that was really nice because normally I just follow you around and go to where you are.
Poor guy.
I know. And Courtney's like, well, I was afraid that you would think that was weird. And he was like, why would I think that was weird?
And
And
she's
I'm
like,
like,
"'Cause"
because
yeah, her
Courtney thinks it's weird.
ex yeah, because Courtney thinks it weird, or she thinks, like, her ex would have thought that was weird, that
Mm,
she did her makeup while, like, out with him. I don't know. So I'm like,
yeah.
"What?" There's so much deep, like,
Yeah.
insecurity with her, uh, that I hope she, like, definitely learns from this experience, like, what she needs, not even in a partner, but just for herself to be
Yeah.
happy.
I think sometimes there is this idea that all that you're gonna need after a relationship that messes you up like that is just someone who gives you permission to enjoy all the things that your ex or exes maybe thought was dumb. But what about the fact that sometimes you've deeply internalized that? Like,
Mhm.
the way she's behaving might be because her ex had certain attitudes about how couples should be, but that's indistinguishable on the outside from her believing those things, you
Yeah.
know? And like, if he's not policing that, well, now she's doing it. And yeah, that's internal work. But they agree on a hard reset and just to like reapproach it with a new attitude. And Courtney proves she's willing to loosen up by pecking him on the lips right there on the couch, which is very bold. Then we have some other couple moments. Adam and Marissa go thrifting this episode. He tries on a bunch of eccentric outfits and tells Marissa that she needs a push up bra with the leopard print dress that she tries on,
Mm.
which I thought was unnecessarily rude. And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Kidding."
Kidding. It's like, no.
He's negging her.
Mhm.
She tells the camera that he's still being full send at him, even though he promised to dial it back, and it's giving her the ick.
Yeah, she has definitely switched vibes recently. She's starting to get a little annoyed, as we all are,
Yeah.
with full send Adam.
Yeah, she's like, I thought that we were gonna reach a point where we could maybe have more balance and he could sample my vibe a little bit
Mhm,
and we could find a happy medium, and nope, he doesn't know how to do that. Cam goes to Michelle's apartment and meets Michelle's roommate, Tam, who brags that Michelle redesigned the whole kitchen herself, and it looks pretty basic, but I don't know what it looked like before, so
mhm.
way to go, Michelle. And she shows him the paintings that she's done, which are very pretty. It's sort of awkward though, because it's clearly Michelle's apartment and Tam doesn't want to move out.
I love that he goes, "Tam being replaced with Cam," and they're all
Yeah, and
like,
they're like,
"Ah."
but Tam is literally like, I'm on street easy every
Yeah.
night. Like I'm stressed.
Tam is clearly like, You're really kicking me out, right? Can I stay? If you guys
Yeah.
stay in Michelle's room, can I still, like, be a part of this?"
Right. You only need one room for the two of you. What's the difference? Nikki and Shawn, let's talk about them.
Mm,
We haven't discussed wifely duties gate yet. We see them hanging out in their apartment over, like, the spy cams at some point, and then suddenly she's, like, straddling him on the couch,
I
and
don't
they're making out, and he's, like,
yeah.
rubbing her butt.
Her full butt is in his hands, yeah.
It's getting heated, and she tells the camera that her attraction has grown because she's taking him in as a whole person. And I think this is people have been really on her case because, like, "Oh, you're not really a sapiosexual," because she's not into Shawn, and, like, our position has been a little bit more like, well, that doesn't mean you just are attracted to literally everyone. You still have to make that
Mm.
connection and build it there, and maybe they really have de-escalated the conflict and, like, developed enough of a friendship and a bond that she's able to, like, tap into that now, and if so, good for her. That's not easy, considering how bad things were for her to already be like, "I'm sapiosexualizing this man."
I thought you were gonna say that's not easy considering this is Shawn.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like Shawn is not an unattractive guy, it's his
No, it's his
personality.
personality. Like, I couldn't get past some of the stuff that he has said,
Yeah.
but listen, she's trying her best.
Speaking of things that Shawn has said, he's about to say some more. The next morning, I believe, still on the spy cams, we see Shawn walking out to the living area with just a towel around his waist. Easy access,
Right
and he
there, though, that would irk like, that would just give me the ultimate ick. Like,
I know.
why are you in a towel? Like, just
Right.
put some clothes on.
To me, like, maybe I think men don't understand this as much. Maybe they're different, I don't know. Or maybe it's just me and Nikki as sapiosexuals, but, like, I'm not gonna be happy about you walking out with a towel wrapped around your waist until we are, like, honeymoon phase levels
Yes.
of, like, drooling over each other.
Until we are Nick's parent status of marriage, like,
Right, and
30
if we're
years.
not there yet, then, like, it's only going to push me away that
Especially
you're
when you're bringing up
presenting
sexual, like,
okay.
acts in a towel, but yes.
Yeah, he's like, "You know, after a good night together, I feel increased desire, and I was wondering if you'd be open to pleasuring me without sex, like mutual masturbation or
And I
something."
thought off campus right away. I was like
Yeah, what about I what if she was like, "I have another idea,"
yeah,
and then they
let's
just did
watch
that
off
and that whole scene. "Stay with me." And Nikki does not have that reaction. She's not a Garrett Graham. She seems really thrown. She's like, "Whoa, okay, that's reasonable for you to ask, but I'm not there yet." And Shawn keeps pushing. He's like, "I just need a release at this point, and I don't wanna masturbate masturbate because I wanna fully commit to the marriage. I don't wanna, like, create my own dopamine hit because I wanna be really invested in this. I wanna get it from you." And at a certain point, he's like, it's part of showing up as a wife to notice your husband has a need and fill it.
Mm.
And Nikki is like, "Nope, I'm not
Yeah.
there."
She's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good with we're not doing that."
Yeah, and he, like, drums his hands on the counter and is like, "Alright," and he
Yep.
leaves, he's very frustrated. This gave me such a big ick. This gave
Yeah.
me, like, the shudder. I was so put off by this.
The full chills.
I felt chills. I was like, "My skeleton wants to crawl away." I was like, what do you think you're conveying to her here? You're like, "I won't masturbate because 'cause I'm committed to our marriage, and I'm gonna build our marriage by then pressuring you into sexual acts that you don't wanna do yet,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to argue that you are responsible for all my pleasure, so if you don't give me pleasure, I have no pleasure, and then
Your
you're"
wifely duties are not fulfilled.
Right.
Yes.
Like, "You're not showing up as a wife unless you notice that I need to be jerked off."
Yeah, also, like, mutual masturbation to me is, like, one of the most intimate things you can do. He's, like, hopping,
Yeah.
"Well, if you don't wanna have straight sex, let we could do this." And that's, like, you need to be, like, so in
I
tune and in
know.
love and, like, with your partner for a while, at least for me, to feel
Yeah.
comfortable with that situation.
Well, because it's very, like there is not, to me, quite that same level of, like maybe you can almost, like, tune out if
Yeah.
you're having
No, it's, like, eye
missionary or
contact,
something.
and it's
Yeah.
I don't know, like, that whole thing that Shawn even brought this up in a towel and
Yeah.
and then called it a wifely duty,
Yeah.
basically. Like, "Oh, you this is
Showing
what
up
you
as a
have to do
wife.
if
Yeah.
you wanna show up as a wife."
Don't say he called it a wifely duty because he will take you to court on that.
But, man, it's close enough, Shawn. It's close enough.
Somehow after this conversation, he arranges a sexy date night for Nikki, and he calls it "You Don't Got No Sense," which I thought, again, was just, like, a bit of shade,
Yeah.
like, it's
"You
a
got
cute
no
little pun,
sense,
but, like
lady."
right, I was like, you just love getting to say, "You don't got no sense" to her, even though it's a little play on the blindfold situation.
She's brave for this. After that conversation, I would have been like, no, I don't need any sort of activity planned for us, thank you very much." But
I know where I'm blindfolded and you'd
yeah.
put stuff in my mouth,
Mm.
like, you've made it clear what you'd like to put in my mouth,
Yeah.
and you weren't happy that I said no.
So, yeah, I don't wanna be blindfolded to find out.
And he does take this to some weird places. He's blindfolds her, he feeds her treats, and she's guessing what they are. Oh, it's strawberry, it's a brownie. He squirts whipped cream in her mouth, and she says, "Wow, that was like 2 mouthfuls." And he says, "You handled 2 mouthfuls very well."
Hmm. Ugh.
This man doesn't wanna get laid, I'm convinced. Like, he's he's making it as weird as
He's
possible.
got some kinks.
Then he does some rope play, which it seemed like was a surprise to her, and I find that to be inappropriate
That was
given
so like, I was just like, "What is this, 50 Shades of Grey? 50 Shades of Shawn." Like, this is just what is happening?
50 Shades of Best.
I would've, like, elbowed him in the face if he went to tie my arms back, but
And it ends up he kind of loops them around her neck, like he's doing this elaborate rope tie, like
and then he has the
shibari or
whip,
something.
and he's got the feather. I'm like,
I found this really upsetting. First of all, stay far away from my neck in general,
mhm.
but especially if we have not had an explicit conversation about airway safety, because that to me is like ropes on the neck is terrifying.
Suffocating in many
Yeah.
literally and figuratively.
And it seems like he just like went for it and tied ropes around her neck. And I was like, do not do that. That's fucking weird. And especially after the conversation you just had where she's like, I'm not accelerating the
Yeah.
pace of things. And he's tickling her with the whip and stuff. And she just kind of lets it happen. She's like, okay. After they're done, she brings up the earlier conversation and she brings up his comments about needing a release and also says the comment equating her performing sexual acts with wifely duty made her uncomfortable. She's like, I feel like you're trying to accelerate things and I don't want to do that. And I was not prepared for what Shawn did
Mm.
next because he tries to pretend that she is making this up
Like,
out of
you're
nowhere.
lying. You are out of hand.
unbelievable response. Like, he looks at her kind of quizzically, like, "What? What? I never said that. I said if you wanted to, that would be fine because we're married, but if you don't, that's also fine. I'm not thirsty. I'm very respectful. It's ridiculous that I would ever say it's your wifely duty. I would never say that." And then he says, like, "It seems like you're trying to make up a moment."
You are
Like,
lying. You are a liar.
he's accusing her of making something up to throw him under the bus on camera, when in fact, she is bringing out something he did say, and he is trying to make her look like a liar on camera.
Yeah, this is so gross. Eh,
Crazy.
he is no, he is nuts in this moment. I was just like, "Wait," and then the editors, like, roll back the tape to just prove exactly what he said, which was like, "This is how you show up as a wife," which is basically, "This is your wifely duty to pleasure me." You
Well,
are fucking lying. You are
what I
not.
yeah. What I've learned from Love Island discourse this season is that people don't believe in paraphrasing anymore.
Mm,
And so if you don't remember the exact words someone used and you use slightly different words, it's like, wow, I can't believe she's lying like that. But I think this is straightforward enough that it's quite clear that she is speaking of the comments that we saw, and he should remember it too, because
mhm,
the gist was very clear. She is describing the point he was making accurately, and he seems to be like desperately trying to make sure that there isn't a scene where he looks really bad, where it's enters the show that he said these things to her. He's like, I just have to deny. Maybe he forgot that there are cameras in the apartment.
mm.
Like, does he not know there's footage?
He's trying to be like, "I got a book coming out, like, you know, this is not me." Meanwhile, this is
Yeah.
all after you just tied your wife up in, like, an S&M situation while she's blindfolded. Like,
This was bananas. I was so aghast. And Nikki keeps trying to respond, but he won't let her get a word in because he's just being trying to deny and like not let her, I think, get more on the record about what he said to her.
mhm.
Then we see him in a confessional telling the camera that he's exasperated trying to keep up with her shifting personalities and moods. He's like, "Girl, ain't nobody sweating you." I'm
Mm,
like,
mm.
"You were sweating her. You were like, I need a release and I need it
Yeah,
from you."
yeah. I'm not sweating you. I could go find whatever elsewhere. Meanwhile, I'm like, it's always you that's the one bringing up all these conversations about sex and needing a release and pleasure and
Always.
setting up this blindfolded act, which I still can't get over
I
because I
know.
whatever, but he is completely out of pocket here.
And
This
they
whole
love
scene
the
was just
blindfolded taste test on these shows, but like he takes it to a much kinkier place and they have a less well-established physical connection than like any other couple I've seen do this.
yeah.
And I think like the thing that really gets me is that he is doing what he says Nikki's doing. He's constantly shifting his personalities and moods, and he's trying to create a moment on camera where she's painted as the villain
Yes, Nikki has
unfairly.
always been Nikki, in my
Yeah,
opinion. I know what to expect. I know how she thinks. I feel.
yeah,
Shawn, it's like every week is like a different Shawn. He's different in front of the
yeah.
cast. He's different at therapy sessions. He's different one on one with Nikki. Shawn is really
And she's not perfect. Like,
gaslighting.
she can be a little, I think, approach this in too corporate of a way, a little too, like, much focus at times on her own ego or on coming off as very perfect, but it is consistent, and I think she's doing her best, and I think a big reason that we're seeing these shifts from Shawn is that in real time, we're seeing him ride this wave of, like, I've gotta put myself out there in order to get my dick touched, and then when he's rejected, going to like, "Well, I didn't want you anyway,
Mhm.
bitch."
Mhm.
And, like, we all are familiar with that from men, that, like, if they'll go after you, and then if you say no, suddenly it's like, "You're not hot anyway." Like,
Yeah.
"I never even liked you." And it's like, he does that, like, every other day in their marriage, which is
Yes.
crazy.
And then if when Nikki watches all this back too, she'll see moments that she didn't even
I
get to
know.
see, but, like, this ain't nobody sweating you, like, Are you kidding me?
Like, if you're not, then feel free to stop asking her to touch your dick.
Yeah,
Like,
he just doesn't like to feel rejected like most men. So,
yeah,
and then he takes it to a deep, dark level,
yeah,
blaming the woman for his own. I can't with Shawn.
yeah,
I'm
I can't.
I'm fully checked out
Well,
after this.
we're gonna take a quick break, but we're not done with Shawn. When we get back, episode 11, which does start off with Shawn still mid gaslight. And we're back. So let's continue talking about Shawn. He insists to Nikki that he doesn't think he needs a release or that it's a wifely duty, but he just would like it and he'd be open to it if she wanted to. And if not, that's cool. He's like, that's how I phrased it.
Nope.
No, that's just like we can see on the footage that's simply not true. Nikki says she appreciates that and she didn't take it as coming from a bad intention, just him speaking his truth. I think that she doesn't know how to handle the fact that he's just flatly denying this. So finally she's like, I guess I'll just take him at his word because there's nothing served by going back and
Yeah.
forth, being like, no, but you did though.
And she can't be like, "Roll the tapes."
Yeah. She's like, it'll show up in a year or whenever they air this. She asks if he expects to have sex before decision day, and he says no, but he also won't stay married if it's platonic. So she's like, let's say more about platonic because I don't think we're platonic right now. You know, we kiss, we make out, we're not doing friend stuff, but clearly that still feels platonic to you. So where do you want to get to in the next few weeks? And he can't engage with this because he's like, you're accusing me of like demanding things sexually and like I just want us to do what's comfortable. And that's fine. Like whatever you want to do is fine. And she's like, well, there's a question of velocity here. And he says, I don't know what velocity is.
Aren't you a doctor?
I was like, aren't you? I thought you were a man of science, Shawn. I thought you listened to neuroscience podcasts. What
She's like,
happened?
"Speed, speed." It's the speed of our sexual
Right.
relationship.
I think we can keep this at a pretty basic introductory level of understanding of velocity and you'll still get the gist. So this whole scene was completely bananas. I hope that he is watching it back and being like, well, my gambit failed because I
Mhm.
forgot about the spy cams in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Cam and Michelle go to therapy with Dr. Lisa and both rave about how well things are going and how attracted they are to each other. Michelle also loves how emotionally intelligent he is. And Cam cries and gets emotional because no one has ever given him that many compliments who was like a woman that he was with. And Dr. Lisa asks if they have feelings of love, and Cam is like, I don't know. I've never said that to anyone, but it's the strongest I've felt before. Michelle says she feels like he's her person.
These 2 are just perfect. It's just like hard eye emojis all day.
I know it's almost too easy. We see them later have a date where they're sitting on a bench watching the sunrise or sunset, and she blindfolds him and makes him guess what he's
I'm
tasting.
like, "Wait, did Shawn set this up?"
And it's the same foods too. It's
I'm
like, oh,
starting
a
to think this was
strawberry
like
chocolate.
a therapy ask, like, "Try this. This can really get things to the next level."
Yeah, I
And
feel
then
like
they
production
all the
has
men just rolled with they were like, "Yes, that sounds like a great thing."
I feel like production on these shows just doesn't have that many ideas for low budget ways to spice up a date so that it's not just talking. So they end
Mhm.
up being like, what if you just brought some chocolate and some strawberries and you blindfolded them?
I mean, I did like that it was Michelle doing the feeding and that
Yeah.
Cam was blindfolded, you know?
And
Women have the power here.
women's rights. You know what I don't like is when she smears something white all over her
I
lips
think it was
and kisses
fluff. It looked
him.
like
Was it fluff?
it
Oh
looked like
my God.
marshmallow fluff, right? It was super and then the noise, the sound effects were really sticky.
I was like, "Michelle, just dab a little bit. You don't need to, like, use it as lipstick." It was everywhere. Made me upset. She looked rabid. Um, but he loves it. They're just in newlywed bliss. Like, she, like, weeps and is like, "I can't believe I found someone who even just wants to sit on this bench with me and share my life in this
I
way." I'm
did
like, "I'm
find
so
myself
happy."
I did find myself, like, getting a little watery-eyed watching them at one point when she's like, "You're my person." Like, I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
these 2 really got me in a chokehold.
I think I get a little suspicious. I'm like, how is it so easy? But there usually is on every season of like Love is Blind or whatever, one couple that
Mhm.
actually has a good relationship. Why not Cam and Michelle? Like they found each other through this crazy experience, and the other six couples are probably fucked. Like
Yeah.
that's a reason, that's a
Mhm.
normal ratio
Yes.
for one of these shows. And good for them. Like they seem happy, they seem sweet, and Cam really does a great job during the group dinner later.
Yes,
So
he does.
Felipe shows Tori his apartment, which looks clean and monochromatic like a showroom. Everyone got their apartments like professionally styled
Yeah.
before.
Well, Felipe admits, "My mom and sister did this." And I was like, "Of
Yeah.
course they did." That tracked
Yeah,
very quickly. I was like, "There's no way Felipe put this apartment together."
I know. And they were just like, men like black and white, I guess. Like, let's just do black and white. I was like, did they also come and tidy it though? Because it looks so pristine.
So clean. Like, I feel like it was like a curved Sherpa
Yeah.
modern couch. Yeah.
Everything very pristine. I was like, where's the wastebasket full of condom
Yeah,
wrappers?
yeah.
Like where are the takeout boxes from his restaurant? I was expecting a little more of
Mess.
that.
He sent
Because
his
it's
mom there before. He was like, "I'm taking Tori
yeah,
home. Can you go clean my apartment?"
it needs to look a little bit more bachelor dream pad and a little bit less like frat house.
Mhm.
They discuss where they'd move in together, which Tori wants to do right away. Um, she's clearly like, maybe not here. Because I want a yard for kids. And he's like, "Oh, I just hate the thought of the suburbs." And, like,
Yeah, away from too many women, you know?
yeah, not enough women in the suburbs, it's hard.
Not enough nightclubs, shall I say. There are plenty of us women in the suburbs, but most of us are married with children.
Yeah, I didn't move to the suburbs, when
To
I
go
was
clubbing
young
with
and
Felipe.
looking to mingle. Yeah. She's like, "Are you sure you actually want kids? Like, are you just saying that because I want kids?" And he's like, "No, I think it'll be very fulfilling." I think that it is untrue that you need to move to the suburbs to have kids. We ended up doing it, but plenty of people stay in
Yeah,
the
in the
city with
city.
kids.
Why not? And you know what? Those kids probably be much more resilient than my suburban children, but I just needed the space for my own sanity, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think I always say, like, if we'd had one calm, quiet child, we probably would have stayed in the city,
Mhm.
but we had 2 rambunctious boys,
Yes,
and
which
even
need
this house is
yes.
not big enough.
Boys need to be outside at all times. I found that with my son where
Mine sure do, or at
yeah.
least my older son. Like, my younger son maybe could have been a city boy, but my older son is, extremely high energy,
Mhm.
and that being said, like, plenty of people have kids and stay in the city, and so sort of, like, displace the conversation about where he wants to live onto the kid conversation, I think is a bit of a miss. I think if he wants to have kids in the city, he can. They clearly have completely different visions of what it would mean to
Mhm.
raise a family, and that
Oh,
seems
yeah.
like a bigger issue. He seems really tense. He seems anxious about their future. And even though he just said he doesn't want to live in the suburbs, Tori seems pretty serene and happy. Reality has not walloped her yet, but
Yes, but
it's about
Felipe,
to.
yeah, is on a downward
Yeah.
track from where we started.
Yeah, he's about to collapse. Jolie takes Mecca to the studio to meet her producer Angel and see her sing, and she sounds fine to me. I saw a lot of people making fun of her singing. I'm not an expert, but it seemed like a part of the song that was not supposed to be sung, sort of like
Mhm.
full out.
Yeah.
And Mecca watches, looking tired and glum. He's like, "I'm so proud watching her sing," but I'm like, you look
That
like
was
you're
a
at the
great
DMV,
impression.
man."
That was a great impression. Yeah, I don't know if he was hungover or they did,
Yeah, well,
they were out super late the night before.
I
Once he
think
admitted
yeah.
that, I was like, "This
No,
tracks with your overall appearance."
I think it's a combination of out super late and, like, he's upset because he thinks that they're in a fight from
Mm.
that late night, but it is really funny to watch him sitting there like he's online at the doctor or something, like
Just,
he's in
like,
a waiting
watching
room,
Joy
and
Rock, yeah.
and he's like, "I'm so proud and excited." So, yeah, as soon as she's done singing, they have an argument about their night out. He believes that she's mad that he kept her out so late. Apparently, they were out until, like, 4 in the morning or something, Felipe hours,
Yeah.
and she's like, "No, that's not true," like, she saw on the camera, like, "I actually told him as soon as I felt tired, and I'm not mad." So, they're having this argument just because he feels like she's probably mad at him,
Yeah.
and ultimately, their conclusion is that he's often been made to feel like he's in trouble, and so he's kind of projecting that onto her. And she tries to assure him that she's not looking at him that way, like nitpicking for things for him to be in trouble about. She's just like, maybe we'll argue sometimes, but I'm not going to be looking to get you in trouble. And he likes hearing that.
Yes, because Paul put it in his head that he was self-sabotaging, and I think
Yeah.
he really took that and ran
Yeah.
with it. But, yeah, he needs to learn to just not he's not always gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. And I relate to this, and I don't even know where it comes from, like originally, like this feeling like I always feel like I'm in trouble with someone because I was actually like a very like teacher's pet type kid. So where does that come from? Lots of therapy working on
Mm,
that one, but, like,
mhm.
it can make you very difficult to be around because 'cause you're always, like, reacting to the idea that people and then you're like, "Why are you mad at me?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"I'm
I'm
literally not."
not. Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, I feel like I'm in trouble, and so now I feel like you're the one who should be in trouble."
Oh my god, and let me say, like, texts and all that have exacerbated that for me. I'm like, "Oh, they
Yes.
didn't put an emoji, so they must hate
Yeah.
me."
The period at the end, like,
Yes.
are
No
you a
exclamation
sadist?
point.
Devin sets up a date night at home for Caitlin, and apparently she's a Harry Potter fan in 2026.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. They're making butterbeer, chocolate frogs, and Irish stew, which I guess is a Harry Potter thing now, and then making each other's player cards. I was like, wow, I haven't been like active in the Harry Potter fandom space in so long that there are all
Since we
of I
were,
get
like, 11.
I think probably when I, like, graduated from college was when I started really, like,
Yeah.
exiting that kind of active space, and I guess there are all these, like, new components to being a Harry Potter fan now that I didn't know about
Irish
player cards. What
stew,
is
yeah.
that? Irish stew,
Thought they were
player cards?
English.
I was like, I do remember chocolate frogs.
Mhm.
Caitlin seems really giddy, and Devin is like, "I'm doing it. I'm making her feel seen, heard, and understood." Um,
By Harry Potter.
by Harry Potter. And she's like, "This is so fun, like, we're having such a cute time." But in his confessionals, he is complaining
Mm,
that she only gives him anything in front of the cameras, and most of the time they're just coexisting. He wants a kiss, he wants attention, he hopes that if he does this for her, she'll wanna see him too.
mhm.
There's something that's, like, starting to niggle at me about the Devin thing where I don't like that he seems to have dropped communicating with her directly, and instead he acts like the perfect boyfriend in front of her and then complains
Like, talk
either
shit,
in
yeah.
public or to the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that Caitlyn has, like, many of her own issues, and she's, like, one of the big punching bags of the season because she doesn't seem to be contributing very much to the relationship or putting in much effort to do what he needs, and that's her own issue, but I'm not convinced that Devin is a complete saint in this
No.
anymore.
And, yeah, he definitely is kind to her and then behind her back, not
Right. Is, like,
as
complaining about being kind to her and being like, "Why isn't my kindness to her getting me
yeah.
anything
And his
yet?"
new thing is to bring up this camera, like, "Oh, she turns it on for the cameras," but I'm like, I haven't seen her turn it on really at all, except with his friends maybe, she seemed a little more, like,
Yeah.
bubbly, but, yeah, I just don't think it's Caitlin's
Yeah,
thing.
I really wish that we got more of them because it is still so hard to understand who's telling a more accurate story about their relationship.
Mhm.
Um, he says that they're doing their player cards, and he says that her wizard house, sorry, magic house, nope, wrong again,
Yeah.
Devin, would be Gryffindor. And I was like, oh, what a suck up. Everyone knows that everyone wants to be a Gryffindor,
Yeah.
unless you're like very self consciously
At
alt
least he didn't say
you're a
Slytherin,
Slytherin.
like
She's not the kind of person who would self-identify as a Slytherin, but some people take a lot of pride in that.
Mhm.
But Gryffindor is the easy answer. That's Harry Potter's house. That's Hermione Granger's house.
Yeah, of course. No one wants to be a Hufflepuff, which is
Yeah.
probably where I would be.
There's nothing wrong with being a Hufflepuff. And that the whole point of the houses is that it's really dumb because you come up with this idea of the house that's sorted by characteristics, but then within the house, everyone can't be the same. So there's the smart one and
Mhm.
there's the kind one, and they're all in Gryffindor. And so I think that's also where we get the idea that everyone feels like they're a Gryffindor because they're like, oh, I would be the smartest one in Gryffindor. I would be the
Yeah.
kindest one in
Why
Gryffindor.
can't we all just be everything?
Exactly. They should just knock all the houses down. But he's like, "You would be a Gryffindor because you have a big heart and you're willing to put yourself on the line for people."
But not for me. That's what
Right. I'm like, there's always this undercurrent of like, I see what you do for others.
Yeah, but you're not doing it for me.
And then he says her superpower would be mind control so she could get people to do what she wants. And I
Yeah.
was like, yikes.
Yeah. He's really
He's starting to hate her,
he's
I think.
unraveling. Yeah. He's over it.
Caitlin says she'd want to be able to apparate, but she's like, you have to be 18 to do that. And he's like, wow, you know everything. That's crazy. And she's like, oh no, everyone knows that. That's so basic. And I was like, well, you know it wrong because 17 is the age when you can get an apparition license, Caitlin. In the wizarding world, you're an adult at 17. Caitlin says he'd be a Gryffindor too because the best athletes are in Gryffindor.
Hmm. Of
Not
course.
true. Like, the kids are not like reading Harry Potter with
No,
the
he's like
attention.
Quidditch athletes. Like what? All the
Right.
houses are in Quidditch. It's
Right,
not
all
just
of
Harry
them
Potter.
do it's just because Harry is the best seeker in a generation, and he's in Gryffindor, and he's the main character, you think that like, come on, like, open the schools. She tells the camera she's still wildly out of her comfort zone, but he's such a great guy. Then we see Devin introduce Caitlin to his friends, and this is the scene where it does kinda seem like she's putting it on a little bit, like, she's very friendly and upbeat and bubbly. And she seems to be feeling really good about things. She's telling his friends, like, oh, he's such a good human. I've never dated one of those before. He's so great to me. I really like him. She's like laughing and smiling. But then Devin's off in the corner with his other friend, complaining that she has dimmed his light. She doesn't laugh at his jokes, so he doesn't make them anymore, which is so sad. She won't cuddle him at night or even share blankets. They have different blankets, which I believe is the European way.
Mhm.
Nothing wrong with that. Or like Sweden or something. There's some places where that's customary. She's always gone when he wakes up in the morning, and she's like, "Oh, wow. Yikes." And I was like, "Well, when do you get up, Devin?
Yeah.
When does she
10
have to be at work?"
10 a.m.
I need more
He's like,
detail
"She
on
doesn't
this.
wake me up because we've seen that before. She didn't
Yeah.
wake me up to go to the gym." Well, maybe set your alarm and get up so you can spend
Yeah.
time with her.
Yeah, it seems like she has a lot going on in the mornings. That's allowed.
Yeah, she teaches workout classes. I imagine she's up
Yeah.
early to do some of those.
They just seem so poorly matched, and, like, if she can't laugh at his jokes and it makes him not wanna tell jokes, I'm like, "But you don't want that for the rest of your life.
No.
Move on."
Yeah.
He tells his friend that at this point he would say no on decision day. And, like, yeah, I think they both should definitely say
Yeah, I
no.
think maybe that's a good idea.
Let's talk about Courtney and Nick. Courtney has some homework ready for Nick when he comes home from work one day. A romantic setup. There's candles, wine, a bowl of lollipops, a tank top that says hot on the front that she's wearing. And apparently she did all this just to get Nick to say that he likes it so that immediately she can say that she would normally never do something like this and she finds it really corny, but she has to do it because the therapist told her
Yeah.
to.
Therapy comes first.
I was like, "You did a whole romantic setup just so that you could basically bait him into saying he likes it, and you can make fun of it." She has a bowl of questions for them to answer, and the first is the weirdest place he had sex, and he says, "A closet full of dolls at his grandma's house." And she's like, "That's not true, is it?" And he's like, "No, it was a rental car."
Yeah, but imagine.
Imagine if I did do it in a closet full of dolls at my grandma's
Yeah.
house. Wouldn't that be crazy? That's the kind of hidden depths that you want is to find out that he's capable of coming up with that idea.
Yes, or like a jet ski, you know?
Or a jet ski. Courtney talks about how she found out her ex was cheating on her when she saw a girl on his bed while they were FaceTiming, but she stayed and she says that she allowed it and ultimately it was her fault. And Nick very kindly is like, no, no, it's not your fault that your ex was cheating on you. Which, yeah, correct. Nick says he wants to hear from his parents that they're proud of how he's lived his life. And she asks if he likes physical touch so much because that's how they communicated love. And he says, no, they never communicated through physical touch. And that's why even the smallest amount of physical touch in a relationship is so great for me.
Like, he craves it because he didn't get to witness it growing up, and I was like, "Look, vulnerability. Here we go, Nick,
Yeah.
opening up a little bit."
We're getting into the backstory a little bit. I'm like, how did your parents show love? Because they won't tell you they're proud of you and they don't
No.
hug you.
Yeah. Cold? They were cold.
I mean, her parents seem similar,
Yeah.
so maybe that's part of what the experts saw in them. He's smiling after doing this bowl of questions, and Courtney's like, "What?" And he's like, "It's just nice for two people to be present in a room together." I'm like, he's just so glad she's paying attention to him.
I love this so much. It's just nice when 2 people are actually speaking to one
Yeah.
another while in the same room.
Well, this is one of those moments where I'm like, Courtney, I feel like you spent the whole time actually kind of being prickly with him or making fun of his interest in the romantic setup instead of treating this as a great opportunity to get emotionally closer to him. Like you say
Mhm.
you want emotional closeness, but that doesn't just come by sitting down and having him trauma dump.
Yeah.
You have to like relax into the moment. And he kisses her. So, progress. Then they double date with Adam and Marissa, and Courtney and Nick wait for them on like the pier and watch them arrive on the jet ski because, of course, we know Adam jet skis everywhere that he goes, which, as far as I can tell, is only the pickleball courts.
Like, what is his job again? Like, I don't think I've
Does
seen
he
him
have a
work.
job?
Yeah. It's a little insane.
His
I
job
don't
is
know.
jet ski.
This jet ski. It's like Ken. You're so right when you mentioned that, the Ken and Barbie stuff, but he's just like Ken on his jet skis,
Yeah.
cruising
Well,
up to pickleball.
Caitlin's hobby is job, and Adam's job is jet ski. Um, and they're like, "Oh, wow, what a Baywatch couple," because they look so, like, hot pulling up on their jet ski, but Marissa is over it.
She's
Marissa
like, yeah, she's Margot Robbie and Barbie. Like,
yeah.
she's realizing there's much more to life than jet skis.
She's like, "I'm really starting to think about death, you guys. I don't know. Something is just not right." She's seasick from the jet ski, and I was like, "Oh my god, she gets seasick."
Yeah, this is the problem.
That's really bad. Like,
Mhm.
and I think even a normal amount, like, I would probably be just puking the entire time. I once on my honeymoon, we went on, like, a pretty high speed, like, motorboat ride out to, like, see some cool rock formations or whatever, and I just puked over the side the entire time.
Yeah, you're like, boats aren't for me.
They're not for me. So imagine being married to Adam all of a sudden, what a fucking
Like, you
nightmare.
can't even get in the car anymore.
Yeah.
Car sick, forget that.
That's nothing compared to this. But, like, she clearly doesn't feel comfortable telling him that she gets seasick on the jet ski. She's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, sure, let's rip it on the jet ski to pickleball."
It's sad because you're really seeing her, like, her bubbly Marissa who is just embracing all of Adam, she's really, like, losing it a bit. She's like, "I don't
Yeah.
wanna do any of this stuff. I just wanna have a normal
Yeah.
relationship, maybe go out with my girlfriends, grab some rosé, and go home." But
Yeah.
he's kind of, yeah, made her fall into his pattern of jet ski, pickleball, lake, jet ski, pickleball,
Right.
thrifting.
And she's
Like,
like, "The jet ski is so cool, but I do get seasick and it messes up my hair to have it whipping around in the wind with the goggles, and I don't actually feel like playing pickleball today." Like, it reminds me of how people will say, like, you might wanna go on vacation and then just, like, move to the vacation because
mhm.
you never wanna leave, but it's not actually gonna be like that once you're there all the time. Like, I think that the first couple weeks with Adam felt like a vacation because he was introducing her to these new fun vacation-y experiences, and it was like he was, like, funny and hot, and she's having this, like, little vacation from life, and now the reality is setting in. She's like, "I live here. I'm married. Like, my life is gonna be jet ski, pickleball, repeat."
Mhm.
And I actually only like that for a week. Like,
Yes, as one would.
he tells the camera he's very serious about pickleball, which is incredibly funny to
'Cause
me.
he seemed like a fine player too. It wasn't like he was, like, I'm like, "What? Are you, like, betting money? Is this why are I get people like pickleball, but he's, like, very intense about it."
Yeah. I mean, and sure, but it is kind of like no shade. It is kind of known as a sport for retirees.
Yes,
And
yes.
I feel
Like
like
a
this whole
bonding, a social activity. Keep
yeah,
you, keep you active, keep you getting out, seeing people.
a little less high intensity maybe than some other sports you could play. Keeps you active. I feel like this is why I keep forgetting whether he has a job. His life is giving retiree to me. He's like
Mhm.
a super young, super hot retiree. He's like, all I want to do is live on the water, go out on the water every day, then play pickleball with my
Yes,
friends. And I'm
dabble
like,
on the piano for a little bit.
you're describing a 75-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like, and but he doesn't want that. That's what he's always like, "Oh, I'm just into extreme, like, training, and I'm actually, like, very serious about this. This is a serious sport, and I already have a training program designed for Marissa."
It's too much. Did he create a software and sell it or something? Like, is he
Is it just
we
generational
gotta
wealth?
we gotta figure out what's
I
going
should
on with Adam.
I should probably remind myself what his job is. Maybe I'll just Google it right now. Adam, married at first sight, Seattle, job. He works in data analytics.
Okay.
Okay,
So
sure.
does he, like, do data analytics for pickleball?
No,
Uh,
he probably is like, "Well, I just get my data analytics done and like I work really hard for 6 hours and then I rip it on the jet ski to
mhm.
pickleball for 3 hours, rip it on the jet ski back home, make a bowl of slop,
Repeat.
repeat."
Oh my
And
god.
then I go to Burning Man once a year.
Oh, and he's gotta work out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he's gotta rip it in the gym.
but this whole like thing where he has a training program designed for her, um is he trying to be funny? Like, has he spoken to her about it? Like, I feel like there's a way that he talks about her and any potential kids they might have that is like he's their manager or their
Yes.
Sims or
Or
something.
they're
Like,
like, he's just gonna have a boot camp for his whole family. As soon as those
right.
babies are born, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be like they're gonna be in the gym, and they're gonna be elite athletes and
Do you understand you
pickleball
could have
players."
kids who just wanna, like, do Magic the Gathering? You could
Yeah,
have
I'm like,
kids who wanna be
"My
in
kids are at
theater.
sports camp this week just so I can be like, maybe you should try some sports, girls. Just put yourselves out there because, we're a theatrical family over here. You can't decide
Yeah,
what you want your kids to do. You can,
I know.
give them the option, but you can't make them be pickleball players, Adam."
You can't, but he seems convinced that he can not only make his kids that he's molded from birth into pickleball players, he can make his adult wife that he just met into a pickleball player.
Yeah, that would be my
And
worst nightmare if someone's like, "I have a whole training." I'd be like, "Cool.
bye.
Bye."
Um, this clearly isn't gonna work
As
out.
we're throwing up off the jet ski.
When Greg and I started dating, we used to have a thing we called couch time, and it was our ritual where we would
Oh,
hang out on the couch.
that's me
So
every day. I love it.
and now it's reached the point where I'm like, we're like around 40. We should probably have rituals where we don't hang out on the couch
Yeah.
or we're gonna have to,
But you can just use your 5-pound weights while sitting and watching Let's
I
Marry
know.
Harry and
I
Married at
know.
First Sight.
Like, how do we make space for couch time while also getting enough exercise that we can use the bathroom independently when we're 70 years old?
Exactly.
Um, but Adam is like, no, I'm training Marissa to be a top pickleball player because I'm very serious about it. And if she were naturally good at it, I'd be in love with her instantly.
Mm,
He's like, I just want to have a life where I go to the park and challenge people to pickleball until I'm like 90.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I bet when you're 90, that's what a lot of your cohort will be doing, so that's gonna be perfect. Unfortunately, Courtney and Nick are actually pretty good at pickleball
Mhm.
because they're both, like, athletic, and Courtney actually loves training
Yeah,
and
Courtney looked great
sports.
out there.
And Adam is so annoyed that Marissa keeps messing up volleys. So he basically banishes her from the court. He's like, just step back,
Yeah,
further
just
back,
stay
just
back
over
there. I
there.
got it. I got it.
And Marissa keeps being like, oh, when can we be done? Like, I want to go eat.
Yeah,
And
she just
Adam is
freaks
like,
out.
just have fun. "Oh, okay, I'll just have fun while I'm dying and I'm not even in the game because I'm
This
not
was
good
so me
enough."
in this moment when she's just like, "My blood sugar is dropping, I need to eat." This is
Oh
me
my
when I get
god.
hangry.
If my husband made me take a jet ski and I got off seasick with my hair everywhere and he was like, "Now you have to play high intensity pickleball for hours while I make you feel judged for your level of play," I wouldn't be he would turn around and be like, "All right, time for a picnic," and I wouldn't be there. I would be gone. I would be in an Uber. An Uber to a hotel.
Oh my god.
But finally, when her blood sugar is so low that she actually drops her racket during a volley, he lets her call it. He's like,
He's like,
"Okay, we
"Yeah,
can
we
eat."
should eat."
"Oh no, my wife, her blood sugar is so low, I just noticed." After this, we see Nick telling the camera that Adam is the voice of the couple, and he doesn't even know what Marissa likes because Adam never lets her
Oh
speak.
god.
Courtney is more focused on how she and Adam vibe because they're both a little weird and he's just so young at heart, and she really relates to that. I'm like, Courtney is always searching around, finding qualities she likes about the other
Mhm.
men.
Yes, she's like, "Ooh, I could play
Yeah.
pickleball for hours, and I like goofiness," and
Yeah.
Adam would definitely toss me in a pool, She's just
I don't think Adam is I don't think it's mutual. I don't think the
yeah.
interest is reciprocated, but
I
she's
think
definitely
Adam's
thinking
really only
that.
interested in Adam. I don't even know if Adam's
Yeah.
interested in Marissa.
But I think from her interest in Felipe and Adam, it's clear that she is interested in the kind of like performative, over the top, like life of the
Yes.
party bullshit that they both specialize
Mhm.
in. And it's kind of gets a little weird. Like even later when Marissa is having girl talk with her and she's like, Adam has really strong hobbies. And Courtney's like, I get it because I also have strong
Yeah.
hobbies.
It's like,
Like,
"What?
okay.
Okay. Maybe we should switch Nick and Marissa and Courtney and Adam. Could
I've
we do,
seen
like, a
many people
trial
calling for
switch?"
this. They should do wife swap
Mhm.
or the ultimatum. They should nest the ultimatum
And
inside
Married
Married
at
at
First
First
Sight.
Sight.
Let's do it.
They should just start drop couples into this sort of alternate reality where all they do is go on
Don't tempt Nick with a good
different dating
time,
shows.
Claire. He's
No.
game.
Be like, "This is amazing. I just signed up for one reality show. Now
Yeah.
I'm on
It's like, "I
2.
haven't been on that one yet."
It's my
Perfect.
dream come true." Um, so over a picnic, Marissa says that their plan is for her to move into Adam's place and use the savings on rent. And he's like, "For a jet ski." And she's like, "Or for a housekeeper and to
Yeah,
add
or
a
just,
woman's
like
touch."
yeah, or some furniture that's not sitting outside getting damp in the
Yeah.
elements.
Mildewed couch. She's like, "It's a little fratty. Adam has 7 outdoor couches that aren't meant to be outdoors." And I'm like, "It
Mm.
rains a lot there. I don't even wanna know what's
The
going on with those
moistness of those
couches."
couches, yes. Oof.
Yikes. Those couches are like 75% mold at this point. But Adam says he likes it how it is, and Marissa quickly backs down.
He's scary sometimes. He's like, "Don't you touch my lake house retreat."
Like, this is the thing. He has put seemingly 0 reflection into what it would actually mean to have a wife and kids, other than just kind of, like, adding them on as accessories to
Mhm.
his life.
Yeah. Where would they
Um,
sleep? On the outdoor couches? Maybe.
she can sleep on the, like, pet bed that
Yeah.
he keeps in his, on his porch. Nick apparently has a huge place, but Courtney reacts with disdain at the idea that she would move in because she wants to move to Oregon for the kids. And Adam is on Nick's side. He says Portland is the Walmart version of Seattle, whatever that
Rude.
means. Incredibly rude. And Courtney looks bummed because clearly she wants Adam to move with her to Oregon.
Or yes, she does want Adam. You mean Nick, but she definitely wants Adam.
She wants Adam. She's like, "If anyone would move with me to Oregon, I'd take it, but specifically Adam would
It's
be
just the
great."
Oregon thing's so funny to me with her because she never brought it up until they were physically driving out to Oregon, and she's like, "Yeah, I kinda wanna
Right.
move here." But if my husband told me he had a four-bedroom house, and I think he said 3 bathrooms in Seattle, I'd be like, "Let's check that out first. Let's go."
Is it in Seattle? Like, I can't think of any other reason that she would bridle at that other than, like, it's not he
I think
has a
it's, like,
house somewhere
outside the
else.
city, yeah.
Yeah, so because sometimes people come on these shows and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm from here, but also I spend half the year in, like, San Diego," or
Mhm.
something.
Well,
Um,
he might be one of those in
I don't
San
trust
Diego.
yeah. Um, but what do you think it is? Do you think that she's using the "I wanna move to Oregon" thing as a wedge because she doesn't wanna stay in this relationship and she's
Probably
like
because she's just yeah, she's hanging on to anything that makes their relationship, like,
yeah.
unsure or
Well,
on
and
rocky ground.
you can see with Cam and Michelle how they're both like, "Oh, I'm really attached to this idea of where I wanna be, but I'm more attached to the marriage, so we're
Yes.
gonna discuss different options." That's not how Courtney is. She's always like,
Mm-mm.
"Oh, no, it looks like I wanna live in a different place than you,
Yeah,
so,
so, we should break up.
So then they do boy talk and girl talk. Courtney says things are always light and good after a rough patch with Nick, but she's not sure if he's challenging her enough. Marissa says in her past relationships, she had to be perfect all the time or she would get in trouble. She's going along with what she calls Adam's strong hobbies right now, and she's worried that that means she's going to end up being a doormat again. She's like, I don't have strong hobbies. I just have light hobbies, like going to happy hour with my friends.
Yes.
I was like, this poor girl. She's suddenly realizing, like, this is my life.
Yes.
And how do I get out of it?
It was cute in the beginning, and
Yeah. And now it's like, how am I going to have happy hour with my friends? There's no time in the schedule because we have work and then we have jet ski and then we
he
have
doesn't
pickleball.
drink, so there's that
He
whole
doesn't
other, like,
drink.
"Is he gonna judge me if I go out?"
Yeah.
And
Adam and Nick also chat, and Nick says that Courtney kisses him now. So they're thriving. Time for the second official group dinner, and the experts get to spy on this one again. This time, Shawn and Nikki show up together in coordinating outfits, and the experts are like, oh, so they really want to show us that they're
a united
compatible now.
front, yeah.
Nikki tells the camera they've been doing the necessary ugly work in their recent
We're
conversations.
aware.
Yeah, that's coming through. Mecca and Beljolie show up in like eye catching ensembles, and Paul reads this as performative. While Dr. Lisa is sold by how great they look together. She's like, they're really selling
She
me.
loves that Dr. Lisa, though. Anytime they look cute
Yeah.
together, she's like, "Oh,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, they're not dolls.
yeah."
Like, I
They're Barbie and Ken.
I found both of these reactions kind of weird
Yeah.
because just because they both like getting dressed up and having like sort of unusual or more like flamboyant style, it's not like they're there in a boater hat
No, it
and
doesn't
a
mean it's performative at all. I think that's just Mecca's always had, like, funky cool style, and so has Belle.
right.
Like,
I
that's just who they are to me, or a viewer. Like, they've always been pretty stylish since the beginning. So that was
yeah.
weird for Paul to say.
Yeah, and then it's also weird to be like, well, they're probably a good couple because they look good together, which, yeah, is her hang up, Dr. Lisa. Adam wore a black kimono top, which is demure for
But
him.
yeah, not performative at all.
No, this is actually him toning it down. That's why he doesn't have it open to the waist. It's not orange. So Cam asks him if it's still jet ski season, and Adam says he's probably going to be ripping it year round. He might even look into getting a wetsuit.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's always jet ski season, baby. Before they sit, Nick announces a drinking game. Anytime Shawn says framework or philosophy, everyone takes a shot. Uh,
Or mutual masturbation, but they don't know about
imagine.
that yet. They don't know about that.
uh, they're all finding out so many things now that
Mhm.
they're watching the season. So Nick and Courtney are the first ones kind of under the magnifying glass. Cam asks about the physical aspect and how it's progressing, and Nick says it's been going better. Courtney says they've made out a few times. And in this sort of resigned way, she goes, happy husband, happy life. And the experts are like, wow, she looks miserable. I'm starting to think she doesn't want to make out with Nick. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
I'm
just
starting to
something
think
I'm
she should maybe just check out of this experiment.
There are so many couples where I'm like, they should just break up right now. There's
Mhm.
0% chance this is going to work out. Nikki says that she and Shawn have also been working on the sexual side, and they've had some passionate kisses and cuddles. Shawn immediately says framework, and everyone quietly drinks, but they clearly don't want to make him feel awkward by calling it out.
Mhm.
Nikki says the conflict is actually bringing them closer because they're understanding each other better. Felipe says that he and Tori still haven't argued, and he's a little worried because they don't know how they'll be in an argument. And he points to some of the other couples who have had an easy time, and he's like, we don't know that yet." And Marissa's like, "Well, good news.
Yeah.
Adam and I finally had a bad day.
I love how everybody was like, "Yay."
Yay, congrats." And I'm like, in this case, it's actually, I think, the beginning of a steep and sudden decline. I don't
Yeah.
know if it
I don't
was
know if
like
we should
one
be
conflict.
cheering, but
It was like the moment when she decided to kind of take off the costume of Adam's perfect wife, and now I think it's gonna be all downhill from here.
mhm. Considering too their bad day was Adam's ideal day.
Right. Like, that's not good. It reminds me of when they were talking about, in therapy, Shawn and Nikki being on completely different pages about how they rated the relationship and how important it is to have a shared reality.
Mhm.
If your worst day is your husband's best day, it's very hard to inhabit a shared reality in that relationship.
Mhm.
And Adam is like, "Yeah, it was perfect. We took jet skis to my home pickleball court." He's probably there more than he is at
Home.
home. Yeah. He's like, "Literally, I took it home. I took it from the bed that I visit to my home, the
Mhm.
pickleball court." I had a great day, but then I learned Marissa had a tough time with all of it. Like, her hair just, like, was cooked from being on the jet ski. It was just tough. And Marissa says that she thinks their routine is out of whack. 3 hours of pickleball was a lot. Did he actually make her play pickleball for 3 hours after a jet ski ride that made
Probably.
her nauseous?
Probably.
Jail for
Mhm.
this man. The experts are like, she can't even look at Adam.
Yeah, she looks so tired. She's just, like, looking down or looking straight
Yeah.
ahead.
I feel like this was a bit of a to me, it feels like this was a watershed moment where she's like, "I've been showing up, having fun, vibing, but when I actually needed support from my husband or for him to notice or care about my well-being or to accommodate me, he just, like, didn't fucking notice,
Mhm.
doesn't seem to care that much. So what am I doing here? Like, I've just been pouring everything out,
Yeah.
and nothing is gonna get restored to me." Adam says that when he stopped drinking, he started pushing himself to his limits 5, 6, 7 days a week at pickleball, to be clear.
Not in life, just in pickleball.
I don't want to judge, but there's part of me that's like, if you want to be this big, like, I'm so extreme, I'm so like focused on excellence, like, I feel like you could pick an activity to get excellent at that would be have a little bit more swag
Yeah,
or
like, join the Olympics. Like, if you know?
right. I'm like, pick up a an under uh focused on Olympic sport,
Mhm.
like some sort of obscure Olympic sport that you could
Curling,
curling.
you know?
Yeah, get into some more extreme sports. You want me to be impressed that
Sailing.
you've played pickleball for 3 hours a day? Even just tennis, I feel
Yeah,
like I would
tennis, you know? Jet ski,
yeah.
tubing.
I'm like, jet skiing is like a recreational activity, I'm like, I'm not impressed that you're on the jet ski. I'm
So
not
is
really that impressed.
pickleball, though. It's like
Right.
it's really just it's a social, like,
Right.
activity. I
I'm
I
like,
don't know.
run marathons, like, do
Yes,
something a little bit you want so much
Ironman.
that you're pushing
Swim
yourself to
across
your
the lake to your
limits.
house. Like,
Yes. Be like, "Oh, yeah, I actually swim everywhere."
yes, that's yeah.
Yeah. Cam asks if he told the matchmakers that he was looking for a Serena Williams type, and Adam is like, "Well, I don't know, I don't want someone who will sit at home, I want someone where we'll push each other physically." And Marissa says, "Well, let's level set. I can't do 3 hours of pickleball 5 days a week."
Mhm.
And meanwhile, we haven't done a dinner date since Cancun, and we haven't even met up with my friends.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh."
Mm.
Adam says, "Well, I didn't think I cared about having the same hobbies, but then I did have a girlfriend who shared my hobbies and we really pushed each other and did all that together, and now I don't think I can do without that."
Yeah,
And
and
everyone's
everyone's
like,
like,
"Uh."
and in his
It's
mind, he's like, "And she cheated on me, so that's why it's over."
like, I would still be with her if I had not, discovered what was happening.
Mhm.
I was just like, "Adam, if you're so sure that this is what you need, have you heard of meeting women at the pickleball court? Have you considered
Mhm.
seeking out women in places where they are engaging in your hobby? Because you went to a matchmaker and you were like, I just want someone who likes dogs and is kind of active.
Yeah.
And they were like, great, here she is. And you're like, where's the pickleball though? There's not enough pickleball in this woman.
Does she have a wetsuit?
Where's the- she doesn't even like jet ski.
Does she like to eat schlop in a bowl every night? Or does she like to go to dinner? Dinner?
Dinner. This was wild to me. I was like, there are so many ways to meet a woman who is obsessed with pickleball, and you didn't do those things. You did
Yeah.
this instead. And now you're like, I'm confused that you don't want to play pickleball 20 hours a week.
Because, Claire, the women who play pickleball are like our beautiful contestants from The Golden Bachelor. Like,
No, that might be it, actually. Imagine he's up here talking this big game about how he's pushing himself to his limits playing pickleball, and then like cut to him at his home pickleball court, like
mhm,
with
with
with the
Kathy.
with all the retirees with Kathy. All right, episode 12. We pick back up with Adam saying that ideally he'd love to play sports 20 or 25 hours a week with his wife. Adam, that's a part-time
Oh
job.
my god. Yeah, who has time for that? I'm lucky if I get a 30-minute workout in. Like,
Yeah. I haven't exercised regularly since before my first son was born.
mhm.
I used to read like 2 to 3 books a week, and now I'm down to maybe 1 a month. Like,
Yeah.
that's my top hobby. It doesn't really happen anymore. Like, does he understand what's coming for him?
Yes, marriage, children, commitment to anything but pickleball.
Mecca is like, "Well, are you willing to tap into Marissa's interests?" And Adam looks murderous. Like, he's like, "How dare you?" But finally he's like, "I know that I'm the one who has an unusual ask here, because I'm the one who really wants to push myself so hard to excellence, so I have to compromise to my ordinary partner."
Mhm.
I was like, "You found a really shady way to say that." The experts are like, "Look at him, he's taking the process so
Um,
seriously."
like, what? Are you guys, like, watching the same
Oh.
oh, god.
I feel like he's doing the marriage version of sitting down in the salary negotiation and being like, "Here's my first offer, $700,000."
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Well, the budget range is 1 to 120, so we will offer you 120." Like, he's just, like, maxing it out as a
Yeah.
as leverage or something.
Gets up and he storms out.
Yeah. Cam asks about what he'll do when he has kids, if he wants kids, and he's like, "Yeah, I want kids." Cam was like, "You won't be playing 3 hours of pickleball a day when you have kids." And Adam is like, "No, I'll be doing 6 hours a day to train both of them into D1 athletes."
And he's, like, dead serious. He's not and this is you're telling this to, like, the collegiate basketball coach who's like,
Right.
"I'm not even gonna have time to coach when I have kids, but you're gonna have time."
Right. Yeah, don't tell Cam about coaching kids into D1 athletes. Also, in pickleball, are we thinking that pickleball is gonna be a D1 sport across the nation by then, or
I don't know. Listen, pickleball has some hardcore stands,
I
and
know, and
he's
they're
one of
all
them.
gonna be coming for me after this
Mhm.
episode. I apologize, pickleball is very real.
I'm more like I mentioned, a mahjong player, so that's my retiree.
I just ordered a walking pad. That's my version of exercise. Um, yeah, I mean, this is deranged, but also made me think of like how many men think this way. And it's because historically that has been the case that if they have a strong hobby that takes them out of the house for long periods of time, like golf, like pickleball, like a soccer league, like fishing,
Yeah, softball league.
yeah,
There's so many I know
family
so many
life.
guys who have that.
Yeah, and family life shapes itself around the husband and father's hobbies in a way that is rarely offered to women because it's their job to just be there all the time unless they
Mhm.
get like a special dispensation to go to a Pilates class or something. Like the idea that he could be an engaged dad and also be absent for 3 hours a day playing pickleball to him is like, of course, like, why wouldn't a dad be able to do that? And I think a lot of men do go into parenthood with that, with
Yes,
that
I am
belief.
so lucky my husband does not do any of those sort of hobbies. His hobbies are,
Yeah.
like, the kids
Yeah. The
and
kids is a great hobby.
and drawing and watching movies and filmmaking and art.
Yeah.
I'm but I purposely knew that when I married him, that he wouldn't be off golfing for hours on the
Golf
weekend.
was an absolute no-go for me.
Yes,
I
I
was
am
like,
not
"You
a
will not
golf
be
wifey.
golfing."
Yeah, no.
I was like, "You can join an evening hockey league. I will accommodate 1 or 2 nights a week, but we are not doing Saturday 8 AM tee
No.
time. Absolutely not."
Father's Day at the golf course. No, thank you. But here I am going to mahjong nights while my husband is home with the kids. So listen,
That's feminism.
right.
Felipe is next in the firing line, and he says that he's subconsciously all the time just thinking of reasons not to be married to Tori, like the AI model that broke into hugging face. He's like, "It's always just working on this problem. How do I escape?"
Help me.
I have one directive. He's like, "My single life was incredible. I had control of literally everything about my life, and I loved it. I made it so easy and comfortable for myself." I wonder if part of him was like, "Getting married will just make my life even more easy and comfortable because my wife will do stuff for me."
Yeah.
He says if he had the choice to choose right now whether to be married forever, he would say no.
Like you said yes, like a week ago, not even a few days ago.
He's like, "Well, I was sure at the time.
He's like, I really miss being single.
And when I said I love you, I felt it in that moment."
But
Like,
now
guys, come on. Cam says, "You're not gonna do better than Tori. Let's be honest, Felipe.
Mhm.
Snap out of
I
it."
love Cam. This whole dinner is just epic Cam.
He was like the Paul who was present in the room. He was
Mhm.
dropping the truth bombs.
Yes.
Tori's response to Felipe's disclosure is that he has work to do individually, and that's not her job. She says, "I'm not going to carry things that aren't mine."
Good for you, Tori.
I love that.
She should tell Courtney this.
She should tell
Keep your man in
most
check.
she should tell most of the people this. Yeah. Adam asks what parts of his life Felipe doesn't think Tori could amplify, and Felipe is like, "Sleeping with a bunch of women. I love that." And everyone is
I'm like, "Are
aghast.
you okay, Felipe? Like,
No, he's
did you
not
take some
okay.
truth serum or something?" Like, this is
This is one of
insane to share to everybody.
with Felipe and this and later Devin, the way they're talking I thought was more appropriate for therapy sessions. Like not even just solo therapy, but sure, couples therapy or like a one-on-one conversation with their partner.
Mhm.
This is not therapeutic
Oh,
to suddenly dump all of these doubts about your partner to your entire social
and
circle in
to
this
her,
way
like, I don't
and
think
to her.
Tori really knew the extent of how he was feeling. She kinda, like,
Right.
sensed it, but she's sitting there, like, learning all of this in front of everybody else.
Right, and it seems more like and I don't know that I or believe that this was intentional, but it comes off more as, like, an attempt to humiliate your partner when you suddenly drop all of your previously unannounced doubts and desires to not be in the relationship
Mhm.
in front of all of your friends. Like, why now? Why now and not in couples therapy,
Yeah.
one-on-one? Why not just the 2 of you? Like, this is such a weird setting to be like, "I don't even know if I want her."
So weird.
Tori tells the camera that she's confused by his mixed signal. She's like, "He has not been putting off that this is what he wants, so I don't understand. But if you wanna go be with hoes, then be with hoes." She's like, "Yeah," clearly she's like, "I was blindsided. I didn't hear about this before." Cam tells him that he's gonna get older and women aren't gonna like him anymore. He's like, "You're not Peter Pan. You're gonna grow up."
Yes, Cam.
Yes. And I think this is especially the case with I'm sorry, like, Felipe is really high on his newfound sexual charisma, but I don't think that I think a lot of it is this sort of, like, boyish puppy dog charm combined
Mhm.
with, like, the restaurant and, like, being good looking enough,
But it's like,
you
why did you
know?
sign up to be married at first sight if you weren't ready to be married? Like, then enjoy your little, your escapades, and then
Yeah.
think about marriage down the line.
I still think
You
that
had a
he
choice.
he thought that he was going to, like, turn himself into the kind of man who just romanticizes and loves and enjoys being married to the perfect wife who makes his
Mhm.
life even better, and now that he's here, he's like, "No, I'm still the same guy, I still
Yeah,
wanna fuck every woman I
yeah,
see."
it's bad, yeah.
Um, Felipe finally says that he feels like he's in a race to fall in love with Tori before decision day, because if he's in love, he's good. So he just,
Mm.
like, needs to be in love, and then it'll be fine. I don't think he can know that. I don't get the sense that he has, like, really experienced that, because even his ex-girlfriend of 6 years, he cheated on.
Yeah. Also, you already chose Tori. You said you would say yes, so
Yeah,
now you're
he's
saying you say no. I think you're
walking it
done.
back.
Yeah.
Mecca says that his answer now might not be undecided. It might be yes. He's like, the more I get to know this woman, I might be stupid to say no. Kind of like hedging a little bit.
Yeah.
w- Um, he doesn't explicitly say, like, I think I would say yes. But then he brings up that he was blindsided by the grilling at group therapy, and Belle jumps in and says she doesn't think Mecca's performative. That's just his personality. And in terms of his feelings for her, she thinks he's genuine and consistent. And Michelle apologizes.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Thank you, because your opinion, like, means a lot to me,"
Yeah, he's like
basically.
he didn't even look towards Courtney. He's like,
Courtney's not
"Just
first.
Michelle." But I did
I
like
don't
how
give a
Belle
fuck what
kinda
Courtney thinks.
like and I
Yeah,
think Paul and Lisa liked how Belle stood up for him a bit and just was like, "I know him, and he wasn't being performative, and he's authentic," and all of that.
yeah. And it's so weird to me that Paul said already at this dinner, just based on his outfit, that he's being performative. Because the things that I think raised the suspicion, really, that he was being performative is that he had all these doubts and walls up with Belle, but then he was being like, making this big, like,
Yes, he was, like, covering it up
comic
with, like,
speech,
yeah,
yeah.
his
"Oh, look at
comedy.
that wagon on her," and, like,
Yeah,
"I know I can be, like, so soft and, like, with her," but then that wasn't really true.
yeah, and,
So
like,
that's the
he's
performative part.
shedding he really is shedding logic, like,
Yeah,
his dad logic. Like, he
I
grew
hope
up a
so.
certain way, and
Yeah,
so that's what he's accustomed to doing and saying, and how that's how he's acted. So I think he's learning a lot, Mecca, and I do
yeah,
like him and Belle together. I'm interested to see, like, if they end up
yeah.
sticking together.
Me too. I think that she's been good for him, and he's able to be genuine with her, and I think they've been genuinely working through things, but what we haven't really seen is him being able to be there for her, because their
Mhm.
whole dynamic is about, like, can Mecca get there?
Yeah, yeah.
Nick says that Courtney has made progress. She will hug him now before she leaves the apartment. Courtney says she's made a big effort to do these little things. Even though she doesn't need those things, she realizes that he needs them. So, like, she just, like, does them.
Mhm.
Her tone is so dismissive, like the way that she talked about the romantic evening that she set up. Like, he likes this, but obviously it's really dumb. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know why anyone likes this, but okay.
Yeah, but I did it, see?
I'm like, that I'm glad he still is enjoying it, but for me, it would take away any benefit I got.
Yes, because 'cause you're, like, forcing yourself to do something, like, you don't wanna
Yeah.
do.
It's like, "Here, fine, I got you flowers. I know that's something that matters to you."
Yeah.
"Okay, thanks, I'm not enjoying them because that wasn't romantic."
No, yeah,
It
I don't want the flowers if you don't actually mean what
Right.
you're
It came
doing
with an
giving them to
insult.
me. Yeah.
Caitlin is impressed, though, because
Yeah.
she can't even do the rote gesture. She's like, "Teach me your ways. Devin wants that from me." And I'm like, "Caitlin, she just said it. Give him a hug before you leave the
Yes,
apartment.
even if you don't want to.
Put a note by the door. Did you hug Devin today?" And then go
Mhm.
back and hug it. Like, if you want to incorporate these little gestures to make Devin feel shown up for, they're pretty
Yeah.
simple.
Mental notes, Post-its, just
Yeah.
all around the house.
Be like, "Devin, before I leave, say something like, 'Daddy wants his hug,' and
Yeah.
that will remind you, you know?" Schedule good morning texts, you know?
Yeah,
Sit down and
pre-schedule.
batch them.
Yep. They don't have to mean shit. You could just be
Yeah.
like, "Hey,
Every
thinking of
morning
you."
at 9:27 AM, he gets a text that's like, "Hi, sweetie, hope you slept well. I miss you."
Yeah. Bacon on the counter.
uh, Mecca then points out that Courtney boxed Nick out at the group dinner and he doesn't see a connection on her end. Courtney gets very defensive immediately and is like, who can I lash out at?
Yeah.
Nick. Nick isn't even doing what I'm doing. I'm making all these changes. Nick, what are you doing to make this
Oh my
relationship work?
god. I was proud of her, and then I was back to, "Nope." She was like, "Look, we're trying. I'm trying. I'm doing all this stuff." And then we get one little comment, and she's like, "Nick, see what you did? Everybody doubts us because of you."
Because of you. No, I thought this was she's like, "I'm gonna stand up for myself." And I was like, "What is being done to you by Nick?" Because then he says he's very hurt. He's like, "Well, I thought that I had been intentionally making an effort to share on a deeper level, and maybe that hasn't come through for you." And she's like, "No, that's true. You have actually." So you
Yeah.
want this from him, but when he does it, it doesn't
Yeah.
even register.
But she's like, "But you just did it when we played a game. I just want you to do it,
Yeah.
like, all the time." Just always opening up about everything in his life.
They just like don't mesh.
No.
They don't get along. Cam and Michelle, on the other hand, are doing nothing but meshing. They rave about how happy they are. He's thinking about moving in with her after the season. And everyone's like, what about coaching? And he's like, maybe my coaching dream will change because it doesn't even mean anything to have these big wins on the court if I go home to an empty apartment. I think that's so true, Cam.
Oh my god, it's like One Tree Hill coded.
And that was the formative YA romance of my youth,
Uh,
so,
yep, me too.
uh, Devin is next, and he is the other person who, like Felipe, I feel like takes this moment to just unleash a bunch of truth bombs that maybe should have been released in a different setting. And he's clearly feeling a lot of resentment. It's been coming out in the confessionals. And he says that he still questions if Caitlyn even likes him. He's not sure if they're connected, if they're even friends. He says he's pulled away so that she has to come to him, but it's happening slower than he expected. Caitlyn feels blindsided by this. She's like, what the fuck? I thought we were doing better. And she jumps in and is like, you're discounting that it has been happening, that I am like coming to you now that you're pulling back. And he's like, well, not like quickly enough.
Yeah.
And she says, well, this feels just like a shit on Caitlyn session. And he's being like, I want to finish my thought. Let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought.
Oh my god, it's very like Nikki and Shawn.
Yeah, it was like a little I understand him wanting to get his thoughts out, but I was, like, a little put off by his
Devin is really,
intensity
like,
here.
embracing the therapy tactics. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like this is another one where it's like, "Can I finish my thought? Please let me finish
yeah.
my thought. I see, hear, and validate you." Like, he's just speaking
Right,
now in, like, what Paul and Lisa want them to do, but he's not doing it in, like, a genuine way. I don't
right, like, this is the other moment where I really felt like he was kind of using the "I see you" mantra as a tool to get out of the part of the conversation he
mm,
doesn't wanna be having, like, she's saying, like, "You're just sitting here shitting on me, and I'm blindsided and confused because that's not what I thought was going on." And he's like, "Alright, I see you, I hear you, I understand you. I will adjust my verbiage, okay?" And she's like, "Okay." And then he gets to, like, dispense with that and go back to
yeah.
what he was saying. I also just found his vibe weirdly intense here, and if I were Caitlyn and he was making adjustments and, like, working with me, and it seemed like things were fine to my face, and then we showed up to the group dinner, and in front of all of our friends, he starts acting like this, I would feel really uncomfortable.
Yes, and she didn't even get a word in either. It's like, it
Yeah,
was Devin just, as she says, shit on Caitlyn. It was like a shit on
yeah.
Caitlyn session.
Here's everything that Caitlin's doing wrong in
Yes,
this
and then he
relationship.
and nobody was like, "Hey, Caitlyn," or at
Yeah.
least we didn't see it. Like, "How are you doing? How are you feeling?"
I almost feel like he's doing too much trying to reach the goal in the relationship by overcommitting to, like, I'm gonna see her, I'm gonna understand her needs, eventually that will get me what I want, and then burying what his asks
Mhm.
day to day, and then he builds up so much resentment that whenever they're in a setting where they're discussing the relationship, all he has are resentments and anger. And that creates a really confusing emotional experience, I think, for Caitlin.
Yes, because she's also thinking, "Oh, I'm doing good, we're doing better, we're connecting," but then behind the scenes, he's like, "This sucks. I'm
Right.
giving up my whole his light or his personality to please her, and she's still not pleasing me or giving me what I want." But she
Right.
is trying to put in the effort in her own way.
Yeah. It reminds me again of the whole like two versions of the relationship thing. Like even Adam and Marissa clearly had spoken about what a
Mhm.
bad day she had. It doesn't seem like he had made Caitlin aware of this. We only
No.
see him talking about it behind her back. It just like
Or
to
that
me
he was
is
gonna
not the way
bring
to
it
handle
up,
it.
yeah, during
Right.
the dinner. Like, it didn't seem like she had any idea that it was gonna turn into, like, a
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there is this sense that he's like such a perfect sweet guy and he's trying so hard and that kind of always puts her in the role of the villain
yeah.
and justifies anything he does and I just don't. I think that there are some less obvious ways that he is fueling this dynamic not working
Mhm.
out. Um, so he says they went out the other night. He was having fun, being goofy and dancing. She didn't pay him any attention. And Caitlin is like, if you're doing it for yourself and not for my attention, that's great. And he's like, but I want my wife to see, hear, and understand me by giving me a smile or a shoulder shimmy. And she's like, okay,
Yeah, I'm not the
that's not her.
shimmying type.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be doing shoulder shimmies. Caitlin and Devin both are like, we really like each other. It wasn't a terrible week, but Devin is just not happy in this marriage. Finally, Tori reassures them both that there's nothing wrong with either of them for how they love or the pace they love at. And this is just a wild experiment.
She's
And
right.
I
Mhm.
agree. In the car home, Tori tells Felipe that she needs monogamy and trust, and she's now concerned that he can't give her that. And he says that right now he's 100% committed to her.
But in the future, who knows, babe?
Eh,
But right now,
yeah, today in this moment,
yeah.
there's no other girls around in this car at this particular instant. So,
It's
meanwhile,
all you, babe.
meanwhile, Marissa and Adam conclude that Nick and Devin are in the same boat, but at least Courtney is trying. And I think that is an interesting comparison because I think Courtney is trying more to do the things that Nick has asked for, but I think she's actively mean to him at the same
Mhm.
time. Whereas Caitlin is more kind of gray rocking Devin. She's giving him neither the constant insults nor the kisses.
Yes. Yeah, Courtney's just like, she'll do it, but you'll hear it that she did it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? She's like, she'll let you
Yeah.
know.
Here's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Devin apologizes to Caitlin for how their conversation went down, and she just looks sort of shell shocked from this conversation. She says she feels so hard to love right now, and Devin agrees that she is. And listen, I just think that both of them are going to be talking a lot about this relationship in therapy in the future.
Uh-huh.
This
Uh-huh.
will be the relationship that they talk about giving them a complex about something.
Yeah, it's not good, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's
Like I
since the honeymoon, the wedding was
yeah.
great, and then since the
Yeah.
honeymoon, they've kind of
Immediately
been
went
on the
downhill.
same track, and I think
Yeah.
maybe it's time to call it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caitlin suggests that he's just focusing too much on this negative overall story about them and is like, don't you ever think about positive moments when they happen? Because I always say positive things about you, but when you're asked, you never say positive things about me. And like, I will say to be fair that he is doing a lot of nice things for you. And those are the things you talk about. Maybe he doesn't feel that you're doing those things for him. So he
Yeah.
doesn't have nice things to say.
Yeah.
Um, Devin says that she only speaks nicely about him in front of the cameras, and that's the only time she connects with him. And she's like, your favorite day we had together was the EDM fest, and there were no cameras.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
he,
"What EDM
what
fest?"
EDM fest? I want to go to an EDM fest
Right? That
on
sounds
camera.
fun.
She's like, I just want you to actually appreciate the good moments. And he says, well, I just feel constantly rejected by you. And she says, well, how am I supposed to lean into you the way that you want when I can't just relax for a couple of days?
Mm.
Back at the apartment, Devin is like, well, that was a disaster. Based on this dinner, we should probably just break up now. But that's what we said about Shawn and Nikki. And look at them now.
Oh gosh.
We should stick it out. It's just a bunch of terribly matched couples looking around at each other and being like, well, if they're making it work.
Yeah, we can too. Let's whip out the feather whips and
Yeah.
satin red robes.
Oh, God.
Caitlin would literally die, I
It,
think.
it's truly. She'd be like, I need to go on a 3-day
Yeah.
vacation anywhere but here to process this. Nikki and Shawn head to his apartment to check it out. It's a very middle aged bachelor pad.
Yeah, it was not what I was expecting, to be honest, from Shawn.
Nikki either. It doesn't quite fit with his personal branding. She's like, he seems very put together in his dress and everything. I sort of thought, but I think this is more reflective of his shower habits
Mhm.
than his
Yeah.
outfits. There's like overstuffed recliners, gaming chair at the computer, exposed cords, no decorations really. She's like, ooh, okay, okay. Next they go to her house, which she has owned for a couple of years. I think it's like a townhouse, and it's nice. Shawn, however, makes a point of saying how unimpressed he is in his
Yeah.
confessional.
She's bougie, but definitely not the bougiest,
I
like, of her
know.
group. Like, I've been to very bougie places, and this is like, on a 2 on the scale to 10.
Right. He's like, there's nothing mind blowing about this because I come from a very bougie group. She's probably used to being the bougiest of her group. So she like thinks this is impressive. But my friends, they're really bougie. I was like, I'm sorry. Are you trying to outrank her in bouginess by proxy? You're like, oh,
Yeah,
you're bougier than me, but I bet your friends aren't as bougie as my friends.
yeah. So,
What?
like, we're middle ground. Shawn, she just came from your dirty, like,
I mean,
frat boy apartment. Like,
I
just
think that's
compliment.
the I think that's the issue. He is insecure about his
Yes.
apartment. And so he's like, well, but you don't realize this, but I'm used to actually very fine surroundings via my
Yes, in
friends.
my
And so,
academic circles.
yeah. And he does to her face. He's like, I'm so proud of you and how hard you've worked and keep going. You've come a long way, baby. And at least he's concedes that he's willing to move there
Of course
because
he would be.
it's like, I'm willing to move into your beautiful
I
home. It's
also
not the
loved how she's
bougiest I've
like,
ever seen, but
my side cabinet, it's from India. And he's like, "Really? You got it, like, shipped here from India?" She's like, "Well, West Elm. India through West Elm."
I had a lot of furniture made in India as well
Yes,
by by way of
by
by way
World
of West Elm.
Market.
Yeah, by World Market. Uh, Adam and Marissa have their first session with Dr. Lisa, and I'm sure she's excited to finally speak to one of her favorite couples who look so good together.
Yeah, because she's like, "We haven't had a
She's
session
like,
ever."
"Finally." Marissa brings up their bad pickleball day, and Adam says it made him concerned about their future compatibility because he wants to do that every day in the summer. Dr. Lisa is like, let's dig into why
Mhm.
everything has to be at a 10 for you. Like, what are you running from? And I have the same question. Adam says his dad always taught him by example to strive for the best. And his parents made him do piano for an hour a day for like 14 years. Also, Boy Scouts up to the level of Eagle Scout. And he was super embarrassed by both things growing up because they were so nerdy. And unfortunately, I can see that that's probably true,
Mhm.
from my own experience of being a teenager. But now he owns it. And Lisa posits that his sort of outspoken ownership of his hobbies is a reaction to his childhood and like kind of feeling pressured to spend a lot of his time doing things that he was embarrassed about.
Mhm.
I also think that something that can happen is that you adopt the qualities of your parents or family members that you most resented because that's what you've had modeled for you. And you just kind of want to be on the power side of that. And now he's going to force Marissa
Yeah,
to practice
exactly.
pickleball.
And not piano, but pickleball.
Yeah. He's like,
He found his thing that he's willing to dedicate hours to. That's not
exactly.
nerdy, like the opposite of nerdy.
And now someone else has to learn that, whether they
Yes.
want to or not. Dr. Lisa asks if he really needs a partner to match that intensity. And Adam is like, yeah, I need someone athletic. I see myself skiing aggressively until 70 and then lightly until I'm 90. I see my life as very physical. This reminds me of Mel's season of The Golden Bachelor, where he was like walking along, hobbling lightly
Mhm.
in his orthotics. And he's like, I'm going to be climbing mountains until I'm in the grave. And everyone was like, Mel.
Yeah, maybe take a break, Mel.
It's like,
Take
these women can't keep up with me.
at a snail's pace.
uh, But what really struck me in this scene is that Marissa is not looking at him and she's not really looking at Dr. Lisa. She looks like she's staring at something 1,000 miles in the distance.
Yeah.
She looks really quite dead inside.
Yes.
She's listening to this and it makes her feel despair.
It makes me feel despair too. Yeah.
I
I
know.
was right there with her.
I know. I was having a moment where I was like, well, say what you will about my life, but no one's making me play pickleball for
Right?
3
And
hours a
ski
day.
aggressively till I'm 70. Like, my knees will
Yeah,
be destroyed
aggressively.
in a
That's why you
wheelchair.
have to downgrade to just light. What about moderate skiing until you're 90?
Yeah, right.
Preserve those knees. She tells Dr. Lisa she's being compared to the ex who could keep up with him, and it's giving her anxiety. She says that as a kid, she struggled with anxiety and depression. She always felt like she had to be perfect, and she's worked really hard to overcome that. But now she's in a super stressful situation again, and she can't do her routine or the things she likes.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
describing her marriage. She's like, I'm in a super stressful situation where I can't have my routine or the things I like.
Yes, my marriage sucks, and it's literally breaking me. It's killing me
Yeah.
inside.
She's not okay. Like, she's like, anything that I could do to make myself feel better, I don't have access to. Why? Because my husband doesn't want me to have
No,
it.
because he
Listen to
runs her
yourself.
life. He runs her life.
It's crazy. He's like, I need 100% of what I want all the time in order to feel okay. And I also need my wife there for it, by the
Yes.
way.
So you can't
Even
have even a fraction of what you used to do. It's all
yeah.
mine.
Dr. Lisa suddenly like, wow, I'm realizing that I paired you to be married to your number one trigger.
Mhm.
Because you feel the need to be perfect and it's giving you anxiety that you can't like be perfect at what he expects from you. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you paired them together.
Yeah.
Great idea. Adam concedes that they'll need to compromise, but he's not sure if he'll be satisfied if they compromise. Dr. Lisa asks Marissa if she'll over defer to keep the peace or the marriage. And she's like, don't lose your voice. And Adam says, I won't let her.
But you already have. You already
I
have
was
let her loose her
You
voice.
won't let her. She had her voice before she met you. Now it's gone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Adam tells the camera that Marissa is a 10 out of 10 person and they just mesh. And it's, quote, sad for me that she's not down to work out constantly. But you have to love people for who they are.
Yeah. So
It
just
is
let
sad
her
for
be
you.
her. Go to
Yeah.
pickleball alone. You know, like let her go out and do her thing.
Ugh.
Give her a little bit more Caitlin, you know? It's like
I just see his life so clearly where he's going to find someone who he thinks can match him enough, marry her, and then he'll have an affair with someone he
I
meets
was
at the
gonna say,
pickleball court.
destroy her. Like,
Yeah.
no woman, no matter how much she enjoys pickleball or physical activity, is going to be okay with that
Yeah.
relentless routine that he is clearly not gonna give up. He'll take on a different hobby. It's just his
Yeah.
mentality. He's
And
very, like, OCD about it.
if they have kids, she won't even be like, one thing that Greg and I lost immediately was joint hobbies and interests
Yes,
when we had kids
because one
because
of you always has to be home.
one of you is with the kids. So, like, anything that we used to do together just didn't happen for years. We used to watch Premier League games together. Now he watches them
Mhm.
because while he's watching them, on the rare occasions that he actually gets to watch one, I certainly can't also be doing it, right? Like, that's it. So they're gonna get married, or so he'll marry someone. She'll be at home with the kids while he plays pickleball, and then he'll be like, "I just feel like Jenna that I met on the court
Yeah.
is really like challenging me more.
Me, and she wants to be there for my greatness.
My wife just isn't really pushing for excellence in
Yeah,
the
and we
way that I
couldn't
would
take the
like."
newborn on the jet ski, and it's just not working out.
Oh, he's so gonna take a newborn on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about Michelle and Cam's home visits. Michelle sees Cam's bachelor pad, which is pretty basic. It also has the overstuffed recliners, which are, I think when you are a single man and you move into an apartment, they just give you an overstuffed recliner with like
Mhm.
a pleather finish.
They're
They're
like,
issued by
"We'll
the
leave this
government.
here for you." Whatever man left the apartment's like, "Bro code, I'm gonna pass
Yeah.
on
I'm moving
this
in with my fiance. You
lazy
can have
boy."
my lazy boy. But he also has lots of plants. So she's like,
I
that's
was
nice. He has a
impressed by
green
the
thumb.
plants, yeah.
Yeah. Then he takes her to his childhood home in Portland, where she sees his trophies, his basketball card, which he says is worth negative 50 cents, his bad poetry. Quote, I love to eat in the kitchen. All foods taste good when my mouth is itching.
Something Adam would say.
All men are the same at heart. And his bed, where he had his first kiss with a girl named Michelle. And it becomes kind of weird because he's clearly like wanting that full circle moment where he can be
Yeah.
like, and now 20 years later, I kissed my wife, Michelle, in the same bed. And she like doesn't want to be part of
Yeah,
that
she's like,
narrative, but he
"No."
just kind of waits
And then he
expectantly
just,
until
like
she does it. I was like, Cam, this is the first time that Michelle has not seemed like she wanted to
Yeah,
kiss you.
yeah. Also, where's his family? Like, I guess they
I
weren't there
know.
for the visit.
That was kind of
He just
funny.
had
It
a key
just
to his parents' house at 40 years old or whatever.
I was like, fair enough. Like you want to maybe they're on a trip or
Mhm.
something and you're
Watering the
they get left
plants,
you a
yeah.
key so you can water the plants, but it's a funny sort of scene set up for them to just
Yeah.
be wandering through his empty childhood home. It's like, where is everyone?
Yeah, I'm like, "And
Like,
nobody else
were they
home?"
raptured? Normally when you see this on a reality show, the parents are there.
Yeah.
Um, but after this, Michelle is open to the idea of living in Portland. She's like, I see what a great childhood he must have had in this neighborhood. And I can see why he would want that for his kids. And I'm open to that. So they're both like becoming more open to the idea of moving to where the other person wants to
Mhm.
live. Tori is in a different place. She's not thinking about having kids in the city to make Felipe happy. She is processing the fact that his brain is desperately trying to find a way for him to still fuck mad bitches.
Mhm.
Like, she's like, what's going on? She does this video diary and tells the camera that she doesn't understand why he'd go through this process if he's not sure. She's like, if he likes me so much, but he's worried he's going to cheat on me, why do this? She says he genuinely thinks we're good right now. Like, what? And then
Yeah.
they show footage of him from the spy cams, like shirtless, lounging on the couches in the living room.
Oh my god.
I was like, Felipe, put a shirt on and
And
do
he's like,
something
"I
nice
just
for your
got that
wife.
off my chest, and now everyone knows that I am horny and looking at everybody else but my wife when they
I was
pass by me on the streets."
I mean, listen, he wants to turn himself into a married man. And in his mind, a married man just has a hot wife that he's excited to have sex with every day. He still gets to just lounge around shirtless whenever he wants, have an easy, happy existence that is exactly everything that he wants. And now he has a hot wife there. So he's like, maybe that's going to happen.
Yeah.
She's like, I need space. I have a lot going on, and maybe I should talk to him about this, but I just don't have enough bandwidth to coddle his feelings about his indecisiveness and his player ways.
Mhm.
I feel like Tori is not the person to. In a way, I'm glad that they were paired because he should not be married, and she is not someone who is going, as they said, the expert said during the dinner, she's not codependent. Like,
Yeah.
she's very independent. She is not going to pour herself into a person who's not ready
Yeah.
to be her partner, and that's good. I want her to be free, but it is funny to see how quickly she's just like, "Well, I'm just not gonna deal with
Yeah,
this."
she's just like,
Like,
"Fuck this guy."
What? Like, I'm supposed to talk to him about it? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's like, "I didn't even talk to people about it when my mom had cancer. Like,
Yeah.
I'm certainly not
No.
gonna talk to him
Yeah.
about how he wants to cheat on me
Cheat on
anymore."
me.
So that brings us to the end. Next week at group therapy, one couple will say they want to end their marriage. Who is it?
Who will it
They're
be?
trying they're trying to make us think that it could be Michelle and Cam because they show Michelle crying and being like, I just wanted it to work and I was so hopeful.
That's
But
gonna
it's
be, like,
so
about, like
obvious it's about her past
Yeah.
relationship. that
They
she
were
thought
trying
was
so hard. I think it's gonna
nice
be
try.
Devin and Caitlin.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
Um, but it could be hey, Tori might just be like, "F this."
Could be Tori and
And,
Felipe.
Courtney and Nick. I feel like I don't know if Courtney, though, will ever not try because she has that competitive spirit. I feel like it would have to
Yeah.
be Nick, and I don't think Nick is willing to give up any sort of screen time at this point in his career, so
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that's the most likely is Devin and Caitlin because they both seem like they're completely bottoming out
mhm.
and they're only making each other feel worse. At a certain point, you gotta call it.
It would be a
Also possible
surprise,
that
though, if
Tori will walk
Marissa,
away.
right? If Marissa was just like, "I can't anymore. I'm done."
I know. I feel like Marissa is still in a place of, like, giving him a chance because she so recently came to the conclusion that she needs to ask for something different.
Mhm.
But honestly, there are 6 couples that if they came out and were like, "We're splitting up right now," I would be like, "Great decision."
Yes. Awesome. Awesome
I
choice.
get it, and great decision. Good job.
Miss you. Bye.
Yeah. So, hopefully, Michelle and Cam will stay strong for us because we need a little bit of hope in this world. And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. If you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon, Lee Blickley, and Emma Gray. Our production assistant is Tatiana Kinney-Smith, who also edits our video. This episode's audio is edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like the show, please remember to follow us, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. And of course, tell all of your friends about our show. Maybe blindside them at a big group dinner and tell them to watch our show.
If you want to get in touch, you can email the show at claireandemmapod@gmail.com.
You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and Instagram at Claire and Emma Pod. You can find our newsletter, Rich Text, on Patreon at patreon.com/richtext.
I'm also on social media at LeeBZ.
And I'm on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Peter Arriaga, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Schuff.
We'll be back soon to learn which couple is calling it quits on Married at First Sight.
Plus, we will be back midweek to talk about Let's Marry Harry, so stay tuned.
Can you keep